What an incredible late August day it is here at Davenport Field at Disharoon Park in gorgeous Charlottesville, Virginia. On campus at the University of Virginia, we present on behalf of Perfect Game and Perfect Game TV the 13U Perfect Game Select Festival, the finest athletes at this age group in the land all over North America. Hi there, folks. Danny Wexelman, Jeremy Brown. My name is Darren Sutton. Glad to have you back with us for this wonderful event. And again, we get excited when we get to this point, the 13 and the 14Us, back-to-back weeks at the end of August. And, of course, this gorgeous ballpark. What a wonderful place for these athletes to play baseball. Many of these players 1 year ago, heck, you've got some Little League World Series heroes, but many of them were playing Little League baseball 1 year ago. Big yard now. Talk to me about the quick development.
It's fast. I mean, you're going from those smaller fields to 60, 90. The ball's coming in harder. These players are getting bigger and stronger. I got to see some of these guys at 12U last year, and they've completely reinvented themselves within a calendar year. We're
going to put you to work because you scout these players so very well, leading all of that at the 13 and 14U age group as the Director of Player Development as well as a Select Festival. So let's start with East number 16, Easton O'Quinn. He was named Easton O'Quinn the 13U Player of the Year. Easton is from Brantford, Florida. He's a really special athlete. As a matter of fact, just won the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I don't think I've made it a secret. He's one of my favorite bats in this class, and I've kind of coined it as he is a professional hitter already. And then we saw the Home Run Derby today, so the juice is there. But you're seeing all these types of videos over the years with Easton, and it's a really just compact swing. He's big, he's physical, he knows how to put the barrel on the ball, and when you can do that at an early age, you're going to do good things long term.
Alex and Katie are his parents. That from the East squad. From the West squad, I'm a little bit biased as an Arizonan. There are 4 Zonies on the roster, and one of them we're going to focus on. McGraw Van Warmer, his father, interestingly enough, the first ever high schooler from Arizona to be drafted by the Diamondbacks, but this is his son.
Yeah, we spoiled you this year with 4 kids from your home state, but he has deserved everything he's gotten this year. As you can see the numbers on the screen, I mean, he's big, he's physical, but he runs a 7-1, so he's athletic and retains that looseness. But then, as you can see, he can really impact the ball. We talked about in the open, 10 triples, so the speed and the strength, everything you need with McGraw Van Warmer, and 55 bags.
Great speed. We'll see him play. We'll see all these athletes play. The quick ascension from the smaller field to the bigger field. They physically look like they belong. We're going to take a look at the entire roster and some of the athletes that may be swinging the bat. So as they get loose on the field, I'll put you to it, Jeremy Brown, as we show the entire roster up there. Who are, besides the names we just talked about, who are 1 or 2 additional names that I'm going to let you talk about?
That guy behind the plate right there, Terrell Hampton Hall. We had him come to a Gateway Showcase in the winter, kind of made a name for himself, earned his invite to National. Then at PGI, I mean, 17 hits, 6 home runs, including a 3-home-run game. That juice played, that's the one I wanted to see. How does that translate through with the wood, just in a bigger setting? And, I mean, finalist Home Run Derby, starting the game behind the plate. So, really good stuff there for Terrell Hampton Hall.
And you see number 12 on that graphic as well, Lewis Lappy, walk-off winner, Little League World Series last year, El Segundo. Then he got to hang out with guys like Trout and Betts after hitting a walk-off at the Little League World Series. So that is the West squad. Alexander Bayo is on the mound. He's from Orlando, Florida. Sport Academy Orlando is his travel team. If you're going to ask him who he dreams about playing for someday, you see, these aren't the days of young athletes being recruited and committed. You have to wait till August 1st of your junior year to communicate. That being said, here is Alexander, and he dreams of maybe playing for Duke someday, right-handed pitcher.
He's a good one. I mean, obviously, he won the Pitcher of the Year last night, and it's dominating stuff. At National, he did it. At WWBA, he did it. And up to 87. He's really, really young. I mean, he played up. He was at the 13U National last year as a 12U kid, held his own. Now it's 87 with just an absolute dagger of a slider that I'm sure we're going to see here. I think we got a couple lefties, so we might back foot one here early to Nateo or maybe Evan Thompson.
Myra and Emerson, his parents, and let's get ready to go. This is the aforementioned Nateo Victorio to lead things off. Monster, as he is known, out of Suisun City, California. And let's get to work as that first pitch sails high, and we are underway with a little bit of run. He lets his dugout know we got a little bit of movement there.
Right away there, 85 on the first pitch from Alexander Bayo, so the stuff's there. There's no doubt. Obviously, going to be a little bit of nerve maybe, but he'll settle in here and be all right.
Sailing high, 2-0 the count to Victorio. A little bit more. He's a 2029 Victorio. ZT National Prospects his team. Where would he love to play? How about Stanford, Cal, UCLA, or Texas A&M?
couple close to home for him, one not so close to home. But the Texas A&M seems to be pulling out of California more and more these days. So
pretty good fastball, inner half, just missed getting the call there as Terrell Hampton Hall tried to frame it up. The 3-0 pitch, and it's a 4-pitch walk as that one misses down and inside.
And even there with Nateo, like, you get to the plate in a setting like this, leading off the game, you're aggressive, but he stayed within himself, stayed within his approach, didn't chase. Now he's on first base, and he can run a little bit for a catcher, so we'll see how quickly if they give him the green light to go on to second.
We introduce you to Evan Thompson, one of 4 Arizonans in the game. Thompson sees that pitch sail in on the knuckles as he fights that one off into right center field into a triangle of defenders, and it's a base hit for Evan Thompson. Runners on first and second.
Complete opposite approach there. 4-pitch walk, Evans going up and hacking. Finds it, gets a swing off. You see him there just get the hands down in on the inner half of the pitch, and ball drops in. Kind of that no-man land, so.
Andres Armenta. There's number 27 on the back of that West jersey. It's been so much fun to meet the families this week. Another Zoney from Queen Creek, Arizona. Beautiful spot down there. You can find some good vineyards. You can find some great olives down in Queen Creek. Castile High School, where Matt Denny will be his head coach.
Got some great baseball there, too.
Yeah, breaking ball dives down and in. Runner looking to make a move on the throw behind him. Heading into third and a big out. Victorio, they get him at third base. The throw went behind Nateo. He opted to go ahead and take a chance. And it's a break, really, for the man on the mound in Bayo.
Good throw there, too, from Noah. Had a tight window, and we'll see him on the mound later today. The arm strength's definitely there, but kind of just that heads-up baseball. With the scoop, too. Good play overall there from Noah. But you're saying all the vineyards and everything. We had a lot of good baseball players down there. Castile currently has Ryan Harwood, who is a 14U festivaler, just in the All-Star game. Armenta's going to be a freshman, and then next year they got Evan Thompson and Rusty Nelson coming in. So it's going to be quite the festival frenzy there down at Castile here.
Armenta, part of that Castile group that you're talking about. One national BPA, his travel team. Love that BPA team. Yep. Jared Sandler runs that. Rica Martinez is the head man for One National coaching there.
There's that slider from Bayo there.
Yeah, the 1-2 swings right through it. Maybe got away with one up in the zone, but I think the change in velocity was equally as effective.
Absolutely. In a setting like this, you know you're going to get the best stuff from the pitcher. It's a one-inning stint. It's what we see basically all summer at the national showcase type setting. And that one hung on him, too. We've seen it where it's at late dagger, but it was effective enough, and you got that confidence from the play from Noah at shortstop, so it quickly turned tides here with momentum going into the east dugout.
Here is McGraw Van Warmer from Prescott, Arizona. It's the first pitch, spins him out of there, right at the belt buckle. Makes that commute down into the valley, as we talk about, to join practices and workouts. Prescott's an hour plus north of Phoenix, Arizona. So a devoted family, certainly. And look, you can look at it as a challenge, or you can look at it as a wonderful home life. And they love their home in Prescott. Dad, drafted by the Diamondbacks, first ever high schooler from Arizona, drafted by the D-backs. And that's before the team had a big league team. That was in 96.
Right.
The big league team was born in 98. Mackenzie and Mark, his parents.
Yeah, we saw a lot of McGraw this summer, and every time it was the same thing of just high-end performance at playing for that SBA team. You're always going to see the best arms when in pool play, in playoffs, and he delivered every time and time again. See that velocity there for Bayo so far, top fastball of 87, and 13 years old. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around because, like you said, 1 year removed from Little League. Like we see 72 kind of dominate on ESPN, so you equate this, and it's a whole nother world.
And Warmer plays football. He's always loved playing football. The contact, linebacker, running back is part of that sport. A couple of walks in this inning as Bayo tries to find his touch and feel. He gets a visit out to the mound. Terrell Hampton Hall, H, was talking about his skills. And a chance now to meet and watch Dylan Mercado.
Dylan, I mean, He probably could have won Player of the Year. He could have won Pitcher of the Year. Why not give him two-way Player of the Year and recognize both of it? It's very real on both sides of the ball. It's a really smooth right-handed swing. One of the better swings I think we saw this weekend just throughout BP. On time, low effort. He kind of maintains that throughout his day-to-day. He's just very low-key.
He's heavily awarded when you have a closet full or a trophy case full of MV pitchers, which is the equivalent of the MV player on the mound, and most valuable players at events. I believe that 7 total, 8 total were listed off, and about 50% from either side. So he's come to your events age with the best travel teams in the country and left either as the best pitcher or the best hitter a bunch of times.
Yeah, and those are high-end tournaments. It's not, yes, in Texas he gets to play a bunch of Premier and play tournaments close to home, but he also travels. And when he travels, he still performs. So at a certain point, you just got to recognize what he is, and it's a really good baseball player.
1 ball and 1 strike the count to Mercado. Dilly Dilly is his nickname. Of course, playing off of Dillon. Cypress Woods High School. Banditos his travel team, and would love to go to Texas A&M someday. Everything just a little bit up, the elbow dropping down below the fastball for Bale.
Yeah, this isn't what we're used to seeing with him. It's usually around the zone. But again, this is a completely different setting for these guys where you're amped up. You won Pitcher of the Year. You got the start. You're the first one on. Probably for a lot of these kids, it's their first time being on TV playing a game. So still, it's 85, 87 on the mound. And you look at him, and it's really low effort.
2-1 pitch. There's that slider. That seems to be that happy place that brings him back.
Right. And it slows the arm a little bit, but it also probably helps him compose and find that release point and stay on time. You see it here again where everything looks the same out of the hand. It's just a lot slower out of the hand compared to that 87.
Yeah, and then 86 is fouled back to the screen, and that sets up 86, makes it look like it's in the 90s.
And again, they're 13. Throwing
keep
86,
doing that
87.
to us because I'm guilty of taking it for granted. Please keep reminding us that.
You go down there during practices and they're like, oh, they did this or did that, and it's like, wait, they're 13. So it's definitely a theme that Tyler Russo and I go back and forth all the time. It's like, well, he's not able to drive it the other way yet. It's like, try to remember when you're 13 and just adjusting to this field, let alone trying to execute certain things.
Slider never got there. It stays high. By the way, when you talk about Mercado's athleticism, Taekwondo, he's a really good sparrer. It helped him a bunch mentally and physically being a part of Taekwondo. Antonio and Adriana are his parents. Gets a swing and a miss. That's strike 3. So he managed to wiggle off the hook. Mr. Bayo, you can always talk about that scoreless inning. Don't worry about the rough waters because, oh my, did you show some fabulous stuff. Fastball, mid-80s, and then, of course, a wicked breaking ball.
Stepping to the plate, PJ Morlando.
I believe this is where it all began.
And here comes the pitch.
And this is the sweetest sound in the world.
Of course, to be able to swing a bat quick, you're going to have to be strong.
I believe you gotta rise before you can shine. That there is no agony worse than defeat.
The question is, does he have the bat speed? Does he have what it takes?
And an angel watches over me.
And swing. Just keep swinging. Just keep swinging.
I believe this will all be worth it.
And the next pick in the 2024 draft is...
Believing in baseball, certainly, and seeing the future of the game. There are a lot of believers here on campus. Such great attendance at the Dish, they call it. As we move along, the E squad gets ready to swing the bat. And they do so against Russell Nelson, another Arizonan out there. Boy, just chock full of Arizona guys. That E squad has a lot of fun names on it when you take a look at the big board, as you like to call it. Some talented athletes all the way down to Knox Myers, who we've enjoyed calling his name. All right, I'll put you again to the test. Give me one or two names off that list that we can talk about.
Brody Taylor is as physical as they come. Left-handed stick and just performs in all facets. Going to hit 2-hole here. And then we'll just go with the leadoff hitter. We talked about him a little bit in our preview with Charlie Blaylock. Just does everything right. Does everything well. Has that high IQ, lefty bat, middle infield. Just everything you want, Charlie Blaylock.
Russell Nelson from Gilbert, Arizona. Matt Denny is his coach at Castillo. We already talked about that. He'd love to play if he could at LSU someday. Justine and his mom, and Ryan is his sister. She's 15 years old. And as he goes to work, he does so with a good slider. And his dad is Patrick. And his dad is deployed in the Middle East with the National Guard currently. Yet his dad managed, and Jeremy, great job pulling it together, to send a video of greeting to encourage all the Select Festival athletes. And it broke this young man down. Hasn't seen his dad in more than 4 months. It was a very poignant moment last night.
Yeah, and I know Dad, I think, comes home soon-ish, but still, for that. And at the very end, Dad told him, Rusty, go give him hell. And his first fastball he threw was 86, and I think that's the hardest we've ever had. So right away, he came out. He's got it letting out the demons, as Dad said. So
that's exactly what his dad says, Dad Patrick. And we thank his dad for his service and our safety. But a moment that it was a surprise as Jeremy put that together for him and made sure that Mom helped, certainly. So, Justine, thank you for helping with that. Mom, by the way, played softball at Central Arizona, was a national champ at Central Arizona, down by Casa Grande. Good pitch over the outside corner, 83 miles an hour.
See him take a little bit off of the pitch at 83 as opposed to that 86, but given his slot, you're going to get a lot more life. And you see it just dive to the outer half, so righty's got to watch out if any of them come up this inning because he's coming for those knuckles.
Call of time, tired of waiting. His mate, Nateo Victorio, we saw him hit last inning. He'll catch the first 2 innings.
Yep.
Colton Wyndham is at first. Over at second base is Brandon Manavong. The defensive player of the year is playing second base right now. Beautiful pitch, dives over the outside corner. That's strike 3. You talked about the run. There it is.
Oh, yeah. It's everything moves. That slot just makes everything very uncomfortable. You saw the emotion from him, too, there. But here we go. That almost looks like a changeup, but it was too firm to be a changeup. It's just out life given the arm slot. And Rusty let out a big roar there. So the demons are coming out. So.
Charlie Blaylock is the first out. Brody Taylor gets his chance now. Left-handed bat. Taylor takes that pitch. Good pitch with that run away. Tries to pull it, and when you pull a pitch like that, it's on the ground. There's the defensive player of the year, turning it into an out, 4-3. A couple of quick outs for Russell Nelson.
That's just a hard ball to try to do anything with, except go the other way. Like we talked about the life already, and Rusty's just here in the zone and dominating early, so. We were down in the player lounge. People are like, hey, that kid's really good at ping pong. And they point at Manavong. And I go, would it surprise you to know that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year tonight? And they go, that correlates and checks out. So,
Orange Challenge champ is Easton O'Quinn. He's from Brantford, Florida, and he looks at strike 1 at 87 miles an hour.
They're 13.
Thank
just
you for the
reminder.
reminder.
I mean, you got guys at D1 throwing midweeks right around this velo, so it's something.
The right-hander dreams someday of being a pitcher, or I should say a hitter, this right-handed hitter at the University of South Carolina. O'Quinn would fit well in a South Carolina Gamecock uniform. ZT National, his travel team. Alex and Katie, his parents, and his siblings, his brother Reed.
I'm sure if the South Carolina staff could offer him right now, they would. Because he's got a little bit everything you want in terms of an offensive approach, what he is as a hitter, the performance. It all speaks for itself, and he's quiet. I go, Easton, you're like a professional hitter. He goes, no. And I go, hey, how do you feel about that round? He hit, 6 out of 7 on the barrel? He goes, capped 1. So, he's humble.
Lively 2-seam run right in on the knuckles. Good pitch there. By the way, along with Reed, his brother is Lila Kate is 7 and Caroline is 5, his younger siblings. And this is an athlete, O'Quinn, that is a very good basketball player. It's been a part of his life. Also an outdoorsman when he gets home. And in the classroom, all you future coaches out there, a 4.0 GPA and hit ability. It's a professional approach. You described it very well, H. Took a pitch down and away, had the confidence to let it travel deep in his stance. Let's go back to earlier when he was swinging it for the challenge.
For sure. And, I mean, that pitch was 87 deep, but with the home run challenge, he didn't change his approach, I guess, is the biggest thing. With a lot of kids, you see them just starting to uppercut, but he's still just backspinning line drives that happen to have that high apex to get out. And they were coming in hot, so if you were in the stands, you were dodging balls.
Trey Lawrence is a special bat, slightly closed stance. Lawrence is out of South Carolina. He skies that one to the right side. Long run, seeing if there's space. Evan Thompson heads over. He runs out of room. Colton Wyndham headed back as well to try to help out.
Trey's a special talent, and, I mean, you got that clubhouse out in left center field, and yesterday he went off the roof of that, which is just where no 13-year-old or 14-year-old or probably 15-year-old should ever go. Then we saw him at the PGI, and it was a similar-sized field, 400 to dead center. He went out twice in the span of, I think, a game, maybe 2 games. So it's special strength, special just barrel skills. And you look at him, not your typical 13-year-old build.
Breaking ball down and away, and a stolen base for Easton O'Quinn. Didn't take off on the ball being wide, had actually taken off earlier. So Lawrence now with an RBI chance with 2 outs. Lagana and Charles, his parents. Lawrence, dad and grandfather both played football and baseball. Taking it to the college level. Breaking ball, inner half. It's rocketed foul. So we'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes.
We haven't seen it quite so much from Nelson, but he toys with guys and will go change up, drop the slot a little more, and then to have 86, 87 in your back pocket, it's really not fair. But right now he's kind of just on the accelerator, and rightfully so.
Nelson with a 1-2 opportunity. Belt high fastball, just turn it loose at 87 miles an hour.
And Lawrence isn't getting beat by it either. He's fouling it off, but 87 isn't something you see every time at this age, but we're talking about the best of the best, so.
Nelson's talked about being able to manage his time, managing school and being away from home and taking care of his academics when he's called upon to do so, as that one just got loose. That was a breaking ball, by the way, that never got there. 77 miles an hour. Body rushed off, arm never caught up.
Yeah, and just that adrenaline, it's going to happen, right? We talked about it with Bayo in the opening. Tries to go this secondary here, and like you said, the arm just never got there, and the release point sailed up and out.
So a wonderful chance for Jason Marl Jr. Archbishop Spalding, his school. He's done a lot of preparing for that August 1st of his junior year. That means that's when coaches can reach out as he takes a pretty fastball just off the plate.
Almost brought that one back over. I mean, look at those numbers from Marl Jr. Like, as of 2028, he's nationally ranked already. I believe he's top 100, and you have to think after this weekend's performance is going to go up from there.
Number 4 in his list, as that one misses outside of ways to prepare for being recruited. Number 4 was recruiting strategy. It's a great list, by the way. Target schools, he says, I've researched schools that fit my academic and athletic goals, focusing on programs where I can contribute and develop as a player. I've initiated contact with the college coaches through email and phone calls, letting them know I'll be ready. And he is ready in the box as he shoots that one into left field. Jason Marl comes through with a single and an RBI. What a gorgeous approach for the Maryland man.
Breaking ball down there, and he just gets a barrel to it, and you get to see the strength, how he just is able to shoot that through the 6 hole and get his team up by 1 here early. That ball was down. That was a good pitch, too, from Nelson.
High.
He got the chase, but Marl's just too strong for it. 5-tool award winner Jason Marl, so we'll see if he's on the move here shortly, too. I think so.
He is going to be on the move, and off to the races he goes as the fastball is called a strike. He steals it. Good call, H.
We got it.
A stolen base for Jason Marl.
You could see it just, he wasn't even getting his full oven mitt on, and he was itching to get to second base.
Boy, it is really, really difficult as we watch Carter Nash hit the fastball just too much for him. As it zips right on by 0-2 the count. It's really difficult to go down and get a pitch and keep the bat level in the zone, but somehow Morrill did that.
And did it with some strength, too. That wasn't just an end capper.
Carter Nash is out of Moore, South Carolina, Dorman High School at 2029. He'd love to play at Clemson someday if they would have him. It's been a busy and successful summer for the son of Latasha and Curtis. Dad played some college football at Wofford College. He plays football and basketball. He did so in his middle school journey at Dawkins Middle School. Breaking ball, that's the one he looks for. The right-hander gets the opportunity. Russell Nelson. Some zippy stuff, some exciting stuff. The future is bright for the man out of Prescott, Arizona.
You really think you're good, don't you? You're 19 years old. You're playing with a drop 5, USSSA, and you're not swinging this bat. You're not in the game. Look at this barrel. Look at the design. I mean, you hit a home run and you hit a home run and you bat flip it, and then you go and it's like, oh, he's using the tank. Like, listen, okay. You want to hit balls like this, kid? Get this bat. I mean, if you're 13 years old and you're not swinging this bat, you're not in the game. We got the.
Amazing opportunity for these athletes. Travel with their families to this event, but then the goods. Wonderful partnership. Launch Hydrate, obviously a big part of the growth of Perfect Game. The official sports drink of Perfect Game athletes. That beautiful Soldier bat. All the uniforms, sharp colors. G-form. You know they're going to step up. At the sliders, you see those athletes wearing that around the hotel here. It's just a great event, and it's these athletes, it's funny, they don't take it for granted. Very fortunate to be a part of this, and the marketing side of Perfect Game does a really good job in putting this together. Introducing athletes, that's our favorite part of what we do, like Grayson Bell. He's from Douglasville, Pennsylvania. This talented left-handed pitcher, Daniel Boone Area High School. His dream school? Here. He'd love to pitch here and grow up someday and be pitching on this mound. How exciting for him to get a preview if it works out for the son of Leslie and Rick.
I got to talk to him a little bit, because we talked about him in the preview and how this is one of his dream schools. Did some camps here. I go, Grayson, what are you thinking about here? He goes, well, I've researched. Coach Brian O'Connor's just got a contract extension. They have my major that I want to major in. I'm like, you're 13, but he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Good zippy fastball. The pitch before just outside. The next one is fouled off. This is Colton Wyndham from Lakeside, California. His dream schools are places like LSU and Tennessee. He'll say goodbye to the West and head to the SEC. Dad is Brandon. His mom is Casey. And Kaya, little sis, is just 9 years old. Beautiful sweeping slider. That's big, 1-2.
Yeah, Grayson, we saw in that graphic there that 6.75 ERA. I want everyone to just throw that out the window. Because Grayson's one of the best pitchers in the class at the 13U level. And when you're swinging those drop 5 bats, when you're throwing 84, if you get the barrel on it, it's going to fly. So we just need to ignore those numbers and just know what he is as a talented arm.
No one doubting the scouting ability. The invitation as that one's fouled off the screen to Colton Wyndham. Wyndham, a really good football player too. So he has dreams of taking it to the highest level in one of 2 sports, of course, baseball the other. When he does zone in on baseball, grab his phone, watch some video of players to learn from, Bryce Harper's at the top of the list.
What's crazy with Wyndham, too, is he's physical, and he's strong, and he's big, and he's really one of the youngest players in the game still. Just a couple months over 13, so very much a true 13U player, and has already some of those top tools in the class.
A good basketball player as well. He gets a breaking ball ready for it. Hits a high fly ball to right field. Some top spin on it, but it lands inside of the glove of Mason Malone, the right fielder. Malone makes the play for out number 1.
That's still a really good swing. 3-2 breaking ball in an all-star game setting. Wyndham stays on it left on left and gets a good piece of wood on it. But Mason Malone's able to take that step back and track it down.
PL8. Peyton Lopez out of New Caney, Texas, wearing number 8 on that jersey. As the fastball dips over the outside corner. For a dreamer to be a Texas Longhorn someday. Played in North Carolina, had a chance to get invitations to the national team program a couple of times this year. That meant a lot to him as well. His success at Perfect Game has gone along with for the son of Ashley and Stacy.
He's one of those just genuinely nice kids. You see him around the yard. He's always coming up. How are you, Mr. Brown? Shaking hands. And then he goes out and he's going to split an oppo gap for a triple on any given at bat this summer. So he's got that personality. He's also got the talent.
Down and away with that pitch. A good-looking changeup. Cued off the end of the bat to the right side. 79 miles an hour. Very effective.
We're seeing that 87 for Bell, too. That's very much a new number for him. And the ball's coming out firm. You got that adrenaline, a little pump-up, but Grayson's right around the zone.
I'm buying on that changeup, though. It was an uncomfortable swing. It was cued.
And Payne's one of the better hitters in this class, too. So when you can get an uncomfortable swing, you're onto something.
86 miles an hour on a fastball that sails high to Reese Parker out of Saucier, Mississippi. East Coast Sox for Coach Joe Caruso. That's his travel team. Swings through that one. Another fastball. Had some cut to it, evening it up at 1-1.
It's just you see Bell, just that long, lanky lefty, and it's so clean and easy that any college coach who has this on in the background of their office right now, circling his name and counting down the months until he's eligible to get that phone call. But the very first time I saw him reminded me of Josh Hartle, the Wake Forest left-handed starter. Saw him since he was 13, 14, and the only difference is Grayson's about 10 miles per hour right now from when Josh was 13.
And you're looking at 85 all the way up to 87 this inning. Parker, big basketball, football player as well. The 2-2. Good take on a fastball. His battery mate still Terrell Hampton Hall, who will catch again in the 8th inning a little bit later on. We're playing an 8-inning game, by the way. Good opportunity to see these young men work. Fastball, letter high, that's strike 3. That is a 1-2-3 inning for Grayson Bell. Someday, Grayson, you'd love to pitch here. That was a pretty good first dance. Danny Wexelman, Jeremy Brown, Darren Sutton, and you, thanks for being with us for the 13U Select Festival. An event, by the way, that was born in 2019, this Select Festival. The 14U edition of the game, born in 2016. We'll get into the depth of professionals and signing bonuses that have come along. But first, we've got to meet Noah Verzal out of San Antonio, Texas. When he's not on the mound, he's got the athleticism and the strength and the size to be a guy who's a corner infielder and a pretty good hitter. Lone Star Baseball Club, Texas 12, his travel teams. What brings Noah to the mound? Why is he here?
Man, so he was already signed up for the 13U National and had done his stuff locally, saw some numbers, saw some reports from coaches and other people who have seen him, our scouts out there. And we see him at the PGI, and that's like a gauntlet of a tournament out in Missouri. It's round robin, bracket play. You have to win like 17 games, it feels like, to get there. And he walked away with MVP pitcher of the event. He hit 2 or 3 home runs. He's 6'3", I believe, 6'4", 6'3", 220. And he's 13.5, meaning he's nearly eligible to still play 12U. But then it's 85 and it's loose and it's easy. He comes to National and does the same thing and struck out a handful of guys. And you're going to see it here, how simple and easy it is out of the hand.
It is easy. It is 85, and it is strike one to Colton Pettinato out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Pettinato, the right-handed bat. Vanderbilt, North Carolina, Wake Forest, a couple of schools he'll think about as he gets older. Breaking ball never got there to even the count at 1-1.
We talked about, you asked me about the difference of 12U to 13U, and there's a lot of physical growth. And for Noah to be this young and this big, he's going to have to be constantly relearning his body patterns. But you see him on the mound just working out the stretch, keeping it simple, limit the moving parts.
Elevated fastball, 1-2 the count. Parvana and Eric, Colton's parents. Dad played some football, basketball, ran track. This young man still playing football, basketball. He said it's helped my athleticism a ton and a little bit of that competitive spirit. Maybe pulling more. Baseball has that one-on-one feel. He's enjoyed the team aspect, the deeper team aspect of those two sports.
He can really do a little bit of everything out on the field, too. We're going to see him pitch, I believe, at some point. He's really good behind the plate. He can hit. And you mentioned that competitiveness. He came in third in the fundraising, too. So no matter what it is, he's trying to get his name at the top. I think just shy of $3,000 raised for UVA Health. So good stuff all around from another CP8.
The 2-2 pitch. Well, arm side run on that 86-mile-an-hour fastball goes back to the screen. If you ask Colton for his self-scouting report, he says, and I quote, "I'm a 5-tool player. I can contribute on any team in many positions. Quick, athletic, strong arm, catcher, pitcher, outfield, third base as well." That's exactly what you just said.
You could literally put him anywhere on the diamond, and he'll hold his own at a high level.
Breaking ball over the outside corner. That's strike 3. Anthony Mayer is our home plate umpire, and he punched him out there.
That's a real breaking ball there, 75 miles per hour, kind of the big 12-6er gets it to land. And again, you're 13 sitting here waiting for it to adjust to 85, 86, and then Noah brings that out on you. So that's a firmer breaking ball for sure, too.
Noah Geralamick out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Hillcrest High School, ZT National, is when he buttons up that travel ball uniform. Went back to that breaking ball, and it misses away.
The Carolinas, Virginia area is really well represented down here, too. Got Braden Miller on deck. We already had Carter Nash, Trey Lawrence, now Noah here. And kind of a homecoming of sorts for all these guys, not having to go that cross-country travel.
2-0 the count, with that one zipping in and off the plate. Geralamick's dad is Matt, mom is Carrie, stepmom is Chrissy, and sis is Harper. Dad played some JUCO baseball in Idaho. Uncle played at UNLV. Was a Cub for a bit, Uncle Jonathan.
We saw him last year at the 12U. I believe it was the Player of the Year last year. He's just grown into one of the more physical beasts, too, amongst either dugout. So you saw him make that play, that scoop throw behind the runner at third base earlier this game. So showing off what he can do up the middle as well.
He loves watching Tommy White, perfect game All-American, perfect game alum. Elevated fastball gets a commitment and a swing on that one. 2-2 the count.
You're seeing Noah here just coming out, or Noah Verzal, coming out and attacking the zone and a battle of the Noahs. And it's really easy, Sut. The ball's just hopping out of his hand right now, and it's consistently 85, 86.
A little bit of cut to that one, dives down and away and gets strike 3. Beautiful pitch, outer half.
We're seeing these guys throw with velo, but also kind of locating. We saw Rusty do it with that life away. Now we're seeing Verzal do it right on right. And I mean, look at where he's set up and look at where he hits the spot. For 6'3", 13-year-olds, it's pretty good stuff here from Noah Verzal.
Brady Miller gets the call. Braden, his given name, Waterford, Virginia. 0-1 the count as he fouls that one off to the right side. Verzal's mom is Crystal, dad is Tommy. So his mom, as he works out on the mound, could play. She could really play at St. Mary's University. D2 national champion in 2002. Dad, by the way, also played there. He doesn't have the national title like mom did. And Braden Miller is his foe right now. Dad played a little bit of professional baseball in the Frontier League. The breaking ball stays high. 1-1 the count.
We got some connections, too, throughout this game to last week's All-American Classic with Reese Parker being the cousin of Jacob and JoJo. And Noah Verzal here is from San Antonio, and the families are really close to Kason Cunningham and his family. So our Jackie Robinson Award winner last weekend, and kind of passing the torch now that Kason's done with Perfect Game.
Danny Wexelman is with us. Danny, a little bit more on Noah Verzal. What do you have?
Yeah, well, I wanted to tell you guys that when I talked to him earlier this week, he mentioned that they've been trying to harness his big body, his big hands as he's gotten older. The conversation, guys, so mature from Verzal. He mentioned that his changeup, one of his favorite pitches, it's a kick changeup he described to me. He spikes it with his middle finger, but the key to him, you see with that big body, is getting the hips and the legs in line. D.
Thoughts as you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. He's big and he's young. So he's going to wake up one day and he's probably going to grow another inch or two. So he's got to relearn everything. But what we're seeing here is a delivery in unison with everything he needs. As he just misses there. That pitch was close, Stud.
He's been around the plate. He's been strike throwing. That's the key to these pitchers. Their biggest goal is they want to throw as many strikes as they can. They want to be around the plate. You guys are watching that closely.
Yep.
Here's Jaden Freeze. He's maybe winning the award for the largest cheering section this weekend. Moose, his nickname, McGuire Air Force Base, is where he makes his home. Not too far from Philly. Right on across the border into New Jersey. You have to actually go east of Philly to find the Air Force Base. Northern Burlington High School.
He's another good one. He's another 2028, just like Jason Marl. Played local stuff, played national stuff, and wherever he went, he performed. We saw the numbers there under his nameplate, and he came out to the 13U National Showcase, and he was like, all right, we're gonna really have to watch and see what he is. And then he did everything and was like, he checked all our boxes, and like we felt silly for even ever having to consider with what he did on the mound, how he ran, how he threw from outfield and infield, and then the BP and in-game performance. So he came and he proved that he belonged, and he certainly does.
He talked about this summer, 2024 summer ball, learning that the game is almost all mental. If you let something bad get in your head, these are hidden words, and you can't brush it off, the game's not going to be good to you. As he takes a strike over the outside corner, a little late run on 2-0. I love that. If you can't brush it off, the game overall is not going to be good to you. He says, and these are his words, it's taught me the importance of preparing your mind and not just your body for a game. Runners on the move, and swung on and missed, throw down. Beautiful tag coming across the bag. Victorio with a nice throw and a great tag. Peyton Lopez.
What a throw. It's football season, and he led him right to the bag, son.
Watch Lopez get to the bag, as H said, on a football Sunday. Beautiful thing.
dailies. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston. Hey, feeling like Whitney. I gotta go, dog. I'm riding on the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when they throwin' the fastball. Too much shit I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in the black whip. Got old problems with the friends new.
On campus at the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. What a wonderful hostess, along with Coach O'Connor, the program, and this city. Thank you, Charlottesville. You have been a wonderful place for these athletes to visit. Guys like Knox Myers, you put a bat in his hands, he's dangerous. He'll play shortstop, he'll play third base, but on the mound, he's a right-handed pitcher. Travel team is Natty Boys, and you can already see, H, just in the warm-ups, what you guys saw. It's a whippy fast arm.
It really is, and yes, he can get sporadic at times, but in terms of stuff, it's very real. It's to the point where he just needs to learn to control the electricity within his arm. He's been up to 88. The ball absolutely flies out of his hand. And we got to see him in the home run derby. So while you are throwing this hard this young, you can never eliminate the fact that he could be a bat and a shortstop at the end of the day, just based on the athleticism. And as we go through, we've got a couple examples over the years we can talk about as well.
Nathan Malone is the first man that he deals with. Nathan, number 2 on that jersey. Uniforms look great again this year. Mason. As he waves through that one. Puts it on the ground into center field. Pretty swing, and it's a base hit for Nathan Malone.
So Nathan's one of those electric types that you can put at the top of a lineup, bottom of the lineup, have another leadoff hitter. You see him here just stay on a middle fastball, puts it right back up the middle, but he's a 6'9" runner. He's super twitchy, super athletic, and I give it 2 pitches until he's going for second.
Malone was born in Fort Riley, Kansas, now makes his home in Smith Station, Alabama, and he's running towards Smith Station as that one skips by. He had already taken off. We'll give him an unofficial stolen base because you kind of called it and he was already on the move.
We're pro players here, so pro stats. Give him stats. And again, 2 pitches and he'll be going for third, I'm sure.
Fastball at 88 miles an hour. Misses down and in.
Ball's hopping, but we'll get there. Again, the nerves, the 13U, everything about it.
Cameron Hockett is the batter. He's from Spokane, Washington. He takes a pretty 2-0 pitch that hits the outside corner.
At the knees, too, with a little bit of life. So, go up 2-0, and then he dots. So, kind of like Landon Green, once we harness, the stuff is going to play. And as he continues to harness it over and over, he's got a chance to be really special on the mound.
Right-hander Knox Myers. Working with Colton Pettinato, his battery mate and his catcher behind home plate against Hockett. Hockett, the son of Tiffany and Cole. That one skips to the backstop. Runner will move to third. Now Malone stands just 90 feet away.
That's exactly what you want out of a leadoff type hitter come summertime, where gets on, puts a ball up the middle, gets a base hit, finds himself on second, gets to third, and just like that, he's 90 feet from tying the game up. I think that last fastball out of Myers' hands was 87, so the velo's continuing to maintain here with the first 4 arms.
Hockett's mom, excellent volleyball player. Dad played high-level baseball when he was younger. 3-1 way inside. Nearly nicked him. And so Hockett is on. Runners on first and third. It's Knox Myers tries to find the strike zone. He is from Riverview, Florida. Plays for the Natty Boys, Myers, his travel team. Louis Lappy is now his foe. International fame a year ago and probably will never shake it.
No doubt.
He hit a walk-off home run. El Segundo, the California-based Little League team, he walked off for his team to win the Little League World Series title. He should never have to shake that fame.
No, that's one that's going to stay with you for a bit, I'd imagine. And you kind of go down as in folklore there, right? Out at Williamsport when you do anything like that of that magnitude.
He's strong. He has shown it. He's strong enough to pull that one into the 5-hole. It's a base hit for Lappy into left field. A hero last summer and now at the Select Festival pitches as an RBI in his first opportunity.
Right away, 86 on the inner half with some life and just spins on it. So Lewis Lappy proving that that jump from 12 to 13U was nothing for him. He went halfway up the bleachers yesterday in the Derby, and just a really short, simple swing here, pulls the hands in. We were talking about during the Derby, he has that swing. It was long and leveraged, but there you see him short enough to get to that inner half pitch, and a really good piece of hitting there from Lappy.
Brandon Manavong takes a breaking ball that misses away out of San Ramon, California. The Rawlings Defensive Player of the Year, shortstop, second baseman, right-handed pitcher as well. ZT National Prospects his team. Tell us about Brandon the player. He wears number 1 on his jersey.
You know who else wore number 1? Ty Southestein.
Very good.
And 13U, 14U, All-American, MVP, signed for $1 million with the Cubs. And yes, it is a glove-first type profile and smaller stature, but he can swing the bat. He can jump on the mound and give you quality innings. But defensively, this year, he just made so many plays that kids who are 15, 16 years old might not necessarily make. He took home that hardware from Rawlings last night, and deservedly so. It's just that instinctual aspect of it, too, that really helps him set himself apart from his peers.
One of his peers from afar that he loves to watch as he takes a 2-0 strike, 2-1 the count, a fastball over the outer half. He loves to watch Trey Turner play baseball, so that's the one who I focus on. I've learned so much. Said early on, when I sat the bench, didn't play as much as I wanted to, I kind of didn't sulk. I paid attention. I learned. I worked on the mental and the physical parts of my position when I wasn't good enough to earn playing time. Now that I'm out there, I've been paying attention. I love that. That's a good attitude.
For sure. And just always learning, especially at this age. There's so much more still for these guys to learn, and they're going to learn it, and they're going to continue to improve. But to be able to recognize that at such an early age, too, is pretty impressive.
Brandon has to spin out of the way of that one, and it is ball 4. Flash Gordon will make a visit to the mound, if you're wondering. Yes, the Flash Gordon, the one that you watched for 2 decades in the major leagues. You saw him go up over 100 wins as a starting pitcher, go nearly double that as a closer. It was a beautiful breaking ball. Heck, could have been a college football player as well. Such a big face-around perfect game at teaching these young athletes. Flash Gordon, 900 major league appearances out to have a conversation.
Which is just absurd when you put those numbers, almost 2 decades. Like, now you're seeing guys 3-5 years and calling it a great career, but he did it for almost 20 years at the highest level.
Charles Johnson, the Gold Glove winning, 4-time Gold Glove winning catchers in the other dugout. It's a benefit for these young men because these coaches are open. They're willing to talk about anything, any situation. I always encourage them. There's CJ, as you do too. Hey, grab your phone. You grab your phone enough. Now grab it for this reason. Google those coaches.
Without a doubt.
Learn who they are. An opportunity for Paris Head as he digs in, and another breaking ball that's just too hot to handle as that one skips right on by.
These coaches love coming back. Like, Charles is around the catchers, and on practice 1, I go, Flash, guys are want to throw bullpens for the game Sunday. You want to go hang? And he, before I could even finish my question of asking him, he was already running down there. So it's something they look forward to as well. Obviously, if they didn't, they wouldn't keep coming back every year for us, and we'll have him again next week out at Fort Myers.
One and 0 the count as Paris takes way in and off the plate. He's from Chicago. He plays for that White Sox Ace program, does such a great job in the community. That's one of his travel teams. Lakeisha and Marcus, his parents. Jasir, he's got twin brothers, Jaleel and Jackie. Caleb, his only sis is Megan. Marcus, his younger brother. And he can run. He can really, really run as we have another youngster taking it on.
He can throw, he can run, he can pick it at short. We saw him at the 13U main event this past year, and he came out, I think, as the top prospect from that event. Him and Ivan Carballo were both there and ultimately made this game, where it's just really good across the board.
His cousin is Dylan Head, and in prospect fame, that's a well-known name. In PG world, we know him too But a perfect game All-American, class of 2023 from Glenwood, Illinois, who was drafted by the Padres. And this year, when the Padres needed some help in the bullpen, they shipped him to the Marlins. But cousin Dylan Head, as Paris is out at first, climbing the ranks.
Yeah. And, I mean, just for Paris to be able to lean to him and ask him questions, having gone through this whole process already, is huge for him.
Chance Kidd swings through that one, comes up empty. Jason Kidd, father of basketball fame. Danny, please add to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, a couple of things. Number one, he's wearing number 5. That was his dad's number, as you mentioned. He told me last year that his feet were a mess at the plate. He was off balance. He was under the ball. Now he's been staying more balanced. He's back now. He takes that back knee. I know he just drew the walk there, but he takes his back knee, drives it into the ground. That's allowed him to be more successful at the plate this year. And by the way, guys, I wanted to share because it's got to be pretty special to have your dad as Jason Kidd. I said, have you ever met anyone really cool because of dad? And he looked at me and he said, yeah, MJ, Michael Jordan, does that count? And I said, yeah, I think that counts. Yeah, that counts, D.
Oh, man. Good stuff, Danny. Mateo Meyer with the chance with the bases loaded. There's that strike zone found. And 0-1 the count again. Nice little breaking ball, 76 miles an hour.
Just got to find that release point and figure it out. One pitch could change the whole outing here for him. He could get a double play and get that momentum back for himself.
Teo from Silmar, California. Thought about swinging at that breaking ball. They want to know if he went around. I'll wait to get the appeal. Jason Lawson said, no, he didn't. Rob Root, by the way, is our second base umpire. Dale Fitzpatrick at third. Anthony Meyer behind home plate. Outstanding umpires at our Select Festival today.
See that dagger life to it, too. That was a sharp breaking ball.
Boom, 87 miles an hour at the knees, inner half.
And he's maintaining the velo here, too, where he landed that, missed on that breaking ball, saw the life of it, though, and then goes 87, just dotted.
Kept right out front. It's been a busy inning of work for Pettinato. He's had to grind. Colton's going to get a chance to catch the next 3 innings. Jorge and Ashley, the parents of Mateo. As he deals 2-2, the right-hander Myers just off the plate. Do it one more time, 3-2. Yeah. 26 pitches for the right-hander, having to work. Meyer, by the way, tackle football player too for the Simi Valley Bulldogs. Way in and off the plate. I think that nicked him. And a run will score. West squad. And we may see a move here. Flash comes out. I know that you guys have options. You have position players, H, that can pitch. They're two-way players. I know we have pitchers that are ready to go next. I know maybe Nathan Handley White is ready to go. Maybe he could come in and go to work. So Knox Myers, the arm's there. You could see it. I mean, it's gifted. Now it's just a matter of next steps.
Yeah, and that's, we always talk, whenever you ask me, I say puzzle pieces. And arm speed's there, the feel for a breaking ball is there, the life. So he's going to progress. He's going to be more than just fine. And I mean, in terms of just pure stuff, it's electric from Knox Myers.
Had some fun awards last night. Had a great time celebrating the athletes and what they were able to do. Mateo Victorio, big win there. DK Plus Offensive Player of the Year. G-Form Fearless Award. Evan Thompson. McGraw Van Warmer, we saw him earlier. The Arizona Launch Hydrate Impact Award. Dylan Mercado, we've seen him already. Two-way Player of the Year. Perfect Game Two-way Player of the Year. And we mentioned Brandon winning the Rawlings Defensive Player of the Year. His athletes enjoying an opportunity to be together, have some fun, and by the way, win National Player of the Year. That's Easton O'Quinn. We've seen Trey Lawrence hit already. Our Yacker Tracker Power Award. Trey Lawrence, Jason Morrow Jr. 5-tool award. And then, by the way, he presented as a co-MC.
You had him up there. I think you super glued the envelopes, too.
That extra award, Alex Bayo, who started this game, was the pitcher of the year at the Select Festival. And so a little bit early, and if he can settle down, maybe go an inning plus. Nate, the casual ones call him. Nathan Handley White, Nate Diesel out of Bradenton, Florida. Vanderbilt, LSU, Florida, some of the teams he would love to think about someday. The son of Claire and Carl.
He's a good one, son. He's big, and the velocity comes easy. Saw him out at the PGI, and that top fastball was climbing as he threw deep into the count. I think it was in the 5th or 6th inning. He hit 86 for the first time of that outing. So we'll see if that adrenaline helps him have that mid-80s immediately out of the gate. But he's big, and he's another one like Verzal. He's super, super young. Unlike Verzal, he does have some festival history. He was in that 11U game back in, quick math, what would that be, 2021? 2022? He was in the 11U game, so.
Hey, we're talking about the history of this event starting back in 2019. Grayson Bell's going to step over and play first base for Trent O'Malley. Now, this event born in 2019, the 14U Select Festival born in 2016, as Landon King gets a chance with the sacks full of opportunity. And the first pitch, nice, easy delivery. Fastball over the outside corner at 83 miles an hour to Lando. King out of San Mateo, California. Alpha Prime is where he does his travel ball work.
You got Brandon Manavong out on second base now, running for Chance Kidd, too. Ups us, speed it up. Chance coming in to catch next half. You got Charlie Blaylock calling time, kind of reminding Pettinato that got runners on. See a little bit of cat and mouse out at second base with Manavong, with Charlie, so a couple ZT guys there. So, and Noah, you got a 3 ZT up the middle right there. But first pitch from Nathan Handley White, 83 with sinking life, and strike one.
Bases full, the right-hander on 0-1 deals it. Took it the other way, tried to find the hole. Excellent effort on the backhand. Short way with the throw, everybody's safe. A nice play defensively there by the shortstop, Charlie Blaylock, but a beautiful approach as he let it travel deep. Landon King.
There's just really nothing Charlie could do, but by knocking it down, it probably saved another run with Manavong coming in. Like you said, Landon King saw it deep, stay short to it. Third base kind of playing closer to the bag and hit them where they're not.
Mateo Victorio with his second opportunity, second plate appearance, walked first time up. As that pitch right down the middle, belt high. Mama basketball player Victoria when he was growing up. When she was much younger, Natalie, dad Joseph. He said, my parents in their athletic experiences playing sports always tell me to work hard. Work my hardest no matter what, because it's going to take me far in life when sports ends. They also tell me to be grateful and to always stay humble. Lastly, they tell me to play hard and finally have fun.
Saw Handley White right there, laying a breaking ball in the other half, backdoor it to him. 4 pitches, 4 strikes, and a not so great spot for Handley White to come into.
And on 0-2, that one's driven toward the alley in right center field. It is down just shy of the warning track. Gathered and fired back in, Trey Lawrence. Couple of runs will score. Victorio stayed back nicely with the hands and drove it into the alley.
Just a really good swing there from Victorio, pulling the hands in. He was down 0-2, but when you're a hitter of his caliber, you never fret. Turns on it for, and that's a big gap out there too, and he drove it out to the warning track, so good swing there.
had the action of a changeup that pitch. And instead of rushing and popping it up, he managed to keep the hands strong and locked in, got the foot down, and was ready for that 2-strike changeup. So now Evan Thompson will see if he can add on. The West is really leaning in here early. 1-1 the count to Thompson. Evans singled back in the first inning. Very little spare time for athletes that are playing and trying to have a social life and take care of their family life and school. But when Evan does have the time, and I know this group, they such an amazing job. He volunteers pretty regularly for the Miracle League of Arizona. Baseball league for those who wouldn't otherwise be able to play. Field suited for their skills, special needs athletes, and you want to walk away from a baseball game feeling like you're a better person. And so for Thompson to make time for that, I'm sure it's fulfilling.
That's what we communicate here, too, is you're some of the best baseball players in the country, but you're also lucky just to be able to live the lives that you do live. Next week, we're going to get to go out to Golisano's. This week, UVA Health had some families come visit our guys, and just really shows how lucky they are just to be able to live the life they do live.
Golisano's Children's Hospital in Fort Myers, Florida, next week's site of the 14U Select Festival, University of Virginia Children's Hospital and Medical here in town, beneficiaries of some diligent fundraising. 2-2 the count. That elevated fastball gets a swing and a miss. That's strike 3.
And he's Hanley White. He came into a tough situation, bases loaded, no outs, and he stayed composed. It's super loose and easy, and just really low effort with the velocity coming from that extended 3/4 slot, where it's 84, I believe we're up to 84, but it's getting on guys quick. You saw Landon King kind of get beat by it, but had the hand strength to go with it, and there he just got it by Thompson at the top of the zone.
Armenta took something on. So in Arizona, you can't. There are states where you can be a 7th and 8th grader and play, as Andres Armenta hits. You can play high school ball even if you're in 7th or 8th grade if you're good enough. Well, that's not the case in Arizona, and it isn't the case in most states. But Armenta, as the 1-0 is swung right through, joined the high school summer league team, got the invite from those in his neighborhood, and played with juniors and seniors this summer. Huge opportunity.
I got to talk to him about it, and like you said, that developmental curve, that helps expedite it when you can get in and play against those older guys. We see that with a lot of guys where they're the younger brother, and the older ones have gone through the circuit. They say the youngest one's always the best. So similar, where you get to play with the older kids and learn the little subtle nuances of the game, and Andres is able to get that early.
Dad played college baseball at Nicholls State University. His father, Ray. Infield drawn in, just shy of the cut of the grass, as that one's played on a backhand from Pettinato, who's catching. Honor roll student the entire year, Armenta. He spent some time on the volunteer journey with a group called Feed My Starving Children, where you give of your time to help gather and box up those, again, who may not be able to safely have food to eat, maybe struggling that badly. So that's a good place for him in Arizona to find some time. Maybe step away from the game, take a break, do the good thing. So I love hearing these stories. These athletes are kind enough to introduce themselves to us.
It's parts that we otherwise wouldn't know about them, where we're getting to learn their background and their stories, and I know that's what you love, is telling their stories.
Yeah, for sure, and it's funny because as they get older, maybe you can tell me I'm wrong, but you, such a high-level scout, you also are colleagues with a lot of professional team scouts. Part of once you get to the point where you're getting a 6 or a 7-figure bonus, they even find out all that other stuff, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. One of the players this year, scouting director says, you've known him since 14. Is he genuinely a good kid? How was he at 14? How was the family? And they can watch baseball. You can see if they can hit with your own eyes, but it's the behind-the-scenes stuff that matters as much, if not more.
Good example of that, let's say, as that one is fouled off, is the Pittsburgh Pirates' first-round pick, perfect game alum, Connor Griffin. the character, the personality. Select Festival alum, though. They probably were digging back into when he was young.
Yep. And again, like, scouts can go, we have the showcases. You can go look at his profile and see that he's a freak athlete. But is he also, like, how is he as an individual and a human? Yeah, Connor's one that definitely did a lot of giving back throughout his time and just even at home.
I think you'd called him a prized alum of this event.
Absolutely.
Real prized alum, and he's not alone. The 3-2 pitch. Tried a breaking ball. Kind of casted that one out there like he was fishing. It never arrived at the plate. Bases full again for the West team. McGraw, Van Warmer, who walked back in the first inning.
You see that confidence, too, from Hanley White there, 3-2, just to go to that breaking ball. Didn't land it, but it shows just truly the feel he has for the pitch and the confidence within himself to go to it 3-2.
Sometimes up to 2 hours in the car to get to practice, get to games when you make your home in Prescott, north of Phoenix. And at times, traffic isn't always your friend going up and down I-17 if you've ever been to that part of the world. So my mom drives me back and forth for all this. I changed my school schedule to a hybrid program so I wouldn't miss school in the afternoons. I'd go to school in the mornings, and then I can train in the afternoon and drive to practices. And this is where we always talk about is that breaking ball's a good one. We always talk about technology can be perilous for young athletes. That's where it's your friend. You could actually be going to school in your car while you're driving to practice.
And that's huge.
While mom's driving you to practice.
Yeah. But that's big for these guys, right? To be able to find that balance. And good pitch there from Hanley
nice
White.
Comeback.
Yeah.
So the breaking ball sets up the fastball, huh?
Yeah. And again, we saw the confidence. He landed it. And McGraw's one that if you hang it, he's going to be able to bang it. Got it down, and just a fastball here. Might have been looking breaking ball again. Just enough life on it to miss the barrel. And
that was a ball, though. That was a ball into the last 5 feet.
It dove. So he's got that lower slot, that extended slot. And again, it's really easy out of the hand. But good stuff from Hanley White there.
An errant breaking ball. Didn't mean to throw it there to Dylan Mercado up and over the head. Petnato's working. You're working, kid. Keep grinding back there.
He's just getting his time's worth on TV, right?
Dilly struck out back in the first inning, Mercado. The Houstonian out of Houston, Texas, Cypress area. His team up 7-1, the West squad. That one's just outside. We had a chance to share a wonderful behind-the-scenes documentary with the Houston man, with these athletes. Braylon Payne, 17th pick overall in the draft, a perfect game alum. We shared it with these athletes. The All-Americans in these 13 U's, the only to see it. It'll debut soon out there in the world. But both of these guys, Houston guys, both Payne and Mercado. And a good reminder, a guy like Braylon Payne, who now begins his pro career. When Braylon Payne was this age and he went into the rankings for the first time, he wasn't at all. As a matter of fact, heading into his junior/senior summer, 500 was his ranking. And by the time he headed into the draft, he was 17th of all the players in the world and was drafted. And there are players like that that will continue to try and steal the spots of the Mercados, if you will, as that's a bases-loaded walk. Mercado drives in a run.
This team's putting up a couple crooked numbers this inning, so we'll see the rest of the way if they're able to maintain the lead.
Here's Colton Wyndham. Yeah, you're right. It's tough to dig out of that hole, and you call upon. They'll probably just move everyone up, and you guys will back end a pitcher there for the final frame, if needed. Colton Wyndham gets the call, fights the baseball off. It's back behind the second base bag in shallow center field. And Wyndham dumps it in. A little bit of two-out magic And the beat goes on for the Westcott, thanks to Colton.
Another one of those seeing eye singles. Just hit them where they're not. That's the second or third ball we've seen fall kind of back there in that no man's land. See, Wyndham didn't think he got enough of it, thought it was going to be a routine fly, but just enough to fall in there and drive in another pair.
So when you bat 16 in the lineup, and you bat around,
it's impressive.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
They're not there yet. Here's Peyton Lopez. Lopez digs in. His first pitch is a breaking ball, and it's popped up. Back of the bag, back behind second into shallow center field. Drolovic drifts under it, grabs it, and puts it away for the out. But a massive inning for the squad from the West as they post 10. Don't forget to join us next week. Jeremy Brown, Danny Wexelman, and I, and our entire Perfect Game TV crew will be getting to work. We're saying goodbye as we are in this wonderful drone footage to Virginia and heading down to Fort Myers, Florida, JetBlue Park, the winter and spring home of the Boston Red Sox. That event that was born back in 2016 that is chock full of alumni that have gone on to college and professional baseball. Excited to bring that event to you. That will be next week. A call to the bullpen made, as it is every inning in this event, and it's answered by AJ, Adam Kramer. He'll go to Prattville High School when the time is right, class of 2029. He's from Billingsley, Alabama. That's just outside of Montgomery, by the way, if you're looking geographically. East Coast Sox's travel team. Joe Caruso, that means that's his coach. And Auburn and Florida State, a couple of his dream schools for down the road.
Saw the 60-plus strikeouts there in, 37-ish innings. And he did a lot playing a lot of 14U this summer, too, with the TGD backs. So he's got the stuff, and it's a live arm. We've seen him up to, I think, 85 so far this year. Had a really good 13U national. And another one that's going to have one of those simple deliveries, the stretch only, keep them simple on the mound.
Jaden Freese is the batter. He's quickly in the hole. No balls and one strike on a zippy fastball. Right back to work, and that one dives down and away. Danny Wexelman with a little more on Jaden. D.
Two things I want you guys to know about Jaden. Number one, last year told me he was hitting too many ground balls, so he was sitting low in his stance. You see him now, he's standing a bit taller, right? He leans back and then he gets low. That's allowed him to have more success. The second thing you'll notice about him is his hair, of course, and I did the hard work, guys, finding a little bit more out about that. Nickname is Tarzan, been growing that hair out for 3 years. His family loves it. He washes and conditions every day. It's amazing, but he's got luxurious locks, D.
He does have luxurious locks. I love that. And to wash and condition daily, that's a challenge.
It's going to build some forearm strength scrubbing the scalp.
That's a challenge with the longer hair.
One of the Blue Ridge guys was down there, Derek, giving these guys all haircuts, and everyone was trying to get Jaden to shave his head. Everybody.
You got to be kidding me.
He would not. He said he just got a haircut. But he said he wasn't going to cut it.
There you go. There you go. See? There's no way I'm cutting that hair if that's my hair. Freeze takes that one inside. As we get to know Adam Kramer as a pitcher. Jeremy knows him. We're all watching him together.
Yeah. Freese is one of those Northeast guys. We were able to talk about him a little bit prior to Mateo throwing somebody out at second, but just a really good year, really good baseball player, and excited to watch him grow as he gets stronger.
Terrell Hampton Hall from Chicago, Kenwood Academy. David Reed, such a great job coaching there. Reed also helping to run that White Sox ace program. Terrell Hampton Hall has been working behind the plate as well. He puts that one on the ground to the right side. Bobble trying to recover, unable to do so. Everybody's safe. Hampton Hall running hard. Unable to make the play out there. McGraw, Van Warmer. So a couple of runners on.
Just another put the ball in play and good things are going to happen. I mean, last half inning, the West got their fair share of blue pits, and right now East is going to take whatever they can to scratch and claw back into this game. If you see Kramer, it's 84, 85 from the left side every pitch with life, and he's got that riding life to it too, where it kind of takes off mid-flight, it feels. So that the perceived velocity, I bet these guys are thinking it's probably firmer than 84, 85.
Ivan Carballo. June, his nickname. Wesley Chapel, Florida. Wesley Chapel High School. Ivan and Lynette, his parents. Runners take off. Pitch down and away. Throw it down. They swept him. The claw back. Little double steal right back at you.
Good throw there from Chance Kidd, too, to throw around the runner and throw a strike down to third base, rather. But the combo of Terrell Hampton Hall, and Jaden Freese, too much on the bases, too much speed. Look at that shot.
With runners on second and third, the 2-0. He took it the other way. Base hit and an RBI. The East coming on back. Ivan Carballo with a beautiful approach, and that approach drives in a run.
Seen those types of knocks so far. Just the velocity is really there for all these pitchers, but these guys have the quickness in their hands to just see it deep and shoot it however they need to get the job done. Everyone seems to be finding the holes this game so far, finding the shallow outfield grass, and slowly but surely East is going to make their way back.
Coach Gorman comes out, gives a visit to the mound. Charles Johnson has Coach Wickersham and Coach Gorman with him. Boomer Wickersham and Pudge Gorman, if we're going with nicknames for those great coaches impacting the game. It's been wonderful to get to know the local coaches and, of course, our former major leaguers as well. All right, Mason Malone, it's your time. Mr. Freese has come on around. Let's see what you can do. May is out of Lilburn, Georgia. Gail and Todrick, his parents.
You see that 6'2", 160, long, lean, and lanky, but he was one of 2 home runs at the 13U National, and those are big league fences. And final day, he got a ball out front that he was able to just drive over the left field wall.
The 1-0. Good tail on that pitch. Gets a swing and a miss. This is a 3-sport athlete. He's a wide receiver when he plays football. He's a wing when he plays basketball. He plays both travel and school baseball and basketball. He said, my work ethic and my time management have grown a bunch because of all those fun things I'm able to do. Another good fastball, 1-2 the count.
That ball's hopping towards the plate in 82, 83, 84. He's probably playing closer up to some of those velos we've seen from the other guys of that 87, 88. See Kramer, he's nowhere done growing either. He's still got the narrow shoulders, leaner build, and he's going to be a good one out on the mound.
Robin and Brian, his parents. The future of the game. If this is the future of the game here, that's the future of the future. Kramer, as he works on the mound, a really busy athlete, plays multiple sports. Runner will take off, draw a throw, in there with the stolen base. Stole that one on the pitcher. Kid did all he could to get it there.
The East is keeping their foot on the pedal right now, and they're coming off an inning like they just had in the top half. You got to do anything you can to just keep scratching and clawing your way back. Plenty of game left.
3-2 pitch. Got him. Swung right through it that time, and down he goes. Big strikeout with runners on second and third. Kramer sports, soccer, basketball, football. Here's this again.
Right there, and enough life where he's able to get it by Malone's bat.
David Kenton takes a pitch over the inside for a strike. David, New Jersey man, a center fielder by trade. Ghost National, his travel team, and Pat Gironi, who's a respected man, part of the Ghost National, founding that group, but is also the coach at Randy High School. So Pat with a big hand on the development of David Kenton, and we like Coach Gironi around these parts. Good man to deal with, especially in that part of the world.
And that org's continued to grow, too, and Canton's their latest one to come through. Right-handed bat, another one. He's not the biggest kid, but he can put the bat on the ball. When you can do that at this age consistently, good things are going to happen.
He's a wonderful story, too. As scary as it was for his family, his dad Dave, his mom Melissa, he was pitching in an event in March and was struck by a line drive directly back at him. And it was so serious. There was a brain bleed. He had to be airlifted away. He was in ICU for about a week. And once he came to and was regaining strength, just determined as he takes that pitch inside. His dad talks about, as he heads to first, we'll finish the thought, his dad talks about how it unlocks something in him that I've never seen, a determination. First of all, the miracle of getting him healthy, not losing an athlete when that occurs. But then he was determined to go right up against all he was allowed to do. And because of that, as he takes that pitch in just a moment ago, because of the near tragedy, he's taken it and had a miracle, and then he goes from there to making your team.
I was going to say the timeline of recovery, too, is pretty impressive.
That one driven toward right field. Knocks Myers all the way to the warning track. One run will score. Kenton into third. Knox had a bumpy time on the mound, but Knox is back with a bat in his hands.
Knox with a knock, driving in a pair, so we're going to keep saying it, so they're going to keep scratching and clawing their way back. And it's 13U baseball. Anything can happen.
That feels good, though, you know?
Oh, for sure. To see Knox, too, the way he can run kind of speaks to his athleticism, where it's those long, quick strides, too, so.
Well, we've officially got a pitchers beware game now. That's what this is turning into, a pitchers beware. Big Trent O'Malley, a Virginia man. Exciting to have him in this game.
Yeah, he's we're going to find out where ultimately he ends up. On the mound, he's been up to 86, and you see the physicality in the box. And then yesterday during the home run derby, he cleared the bleachers in left field. So there's some very real strength there in the bat of Trent O'Malley. Drives that one deep to right field. Way deep to right field. That went up on the home run porch. Opposite field home run distance. You were just saying. Yeah, it's very, very, very real strength. I was out talking to Aiden Harris and a couple of the other UVA guys, like, hey, who puts them over those bleachers? And they had just Henry Ford for them. And then literally within the hour, Trent O'Malley goes up and over the bleachers, which is a pretty ridiculous feat. Gonzaga College High School, Coach Greg Ladd, his coach there, plays his travel ball for wow factor. O'Malley was saying, look, every day I focus on something to improve upon. During the offseason, whatever is needed to be done, he said, once my time comes to getting offers and started to be looked at, I'll look at those who want me most. Instead of picking based on the name of the school, I'm going to still keep my dream colleges, but I'm also going to want to be with people who want me to be with them as far as college baseball goes. As O'Malley, the big slugger, draws a walk. Chency and Sean, his parents. Charlie B again with the chance. Charlie Blaylock. quick little mound visit here, but I mean, if you're Kramer, you're one pitch away from getting out of the inning. This fastball has enough life to it to induce that ground ball and get you out with just minimal damage.
Charlie from Vieira, Florida, ZT National prospects his team. He would love to be a Florida Gator someday. 0-1 the count. Fastball with some run over the outside corner.
Kramer's still maintaining that velocity on his fastball, too.
On 0-1. That one never got there. Got him in the back of the elbow, and that'll play to run. Ken comes down to score easily. A couple of hit batters in this inning have been costly. Blaylock, an RBI the hard way, 10-5.
It's just an extra souvenir to take home with you, Sut. They got their bed full of stuff and a little bruise on the back there for Charlie as well.
You got a bed, you get a bag, and you got a bruise.
That's right.
You get it all. Brody Taylor, Mickleton, New Jersey, with an RBI opportunity now.
It's not quite the Mason Braun bruise, though, from National Showcase.
Bell's going to head out to run.
O'Malley might be scheduled to throw next half, if I were to guess.
Yes.
So just try to
Good
speed
guess.
up the process a little bit.
Good guess by you.
See that for pitchers and catchers probably throughout the game today.
And you won't see it as much as they get older, but a lot of these players do both things. You know, they're hitting, they're pitching. Couple of runners on and an opportunity to drive in more. That one dies in right field. Brody Taylor, who had grounded out the first time, makes it a 10-6 game with the single to shallow right.
You get to see that strength in Brody Taylor's hands there just to fight it off left on left. And yet another ball that just seems to find some grass out there. We had a similar swing from Brody Taylor like that at the 13U National, where he got all of it though and was able to drive a triple deep to the right field wall. Here, just as good, Sud. Gets that run in and keeps the inning moving.
So Adam Kramer is done. And it looks like Colton Wyndham will get the call. Wyndham was slated for a couple innings. He was slated initially behind Dylan Mercado. And as this comes together, Wyndham gets a chance. Now a little bit early, he had gone down to the pen, started getting hot though. Our Loco Cooker's delivery of the game. We have had some pretty pitches and some strikeouts early on from some of these arms. This is what we talk about, H. You trying to project what you see in a 13-year-old.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of good stuff so far. Definitely a ton of takeaways here. See Verzal there locating on that outer half. It's a lot of good stuff for only 3 innings in here, but rest assured we're going to see plenty more as we near the completion of this game. See Kramer's fastball right there for the strikeout.
So Colton Wyndham gets hot. Easton O'Quinn will be his foe. And, of course, the Home Run Challenge champ and the National Player of the Year. There's a little bit about Wyndham, who we obviously is a player we've seen hit. He singled in a pair of runs an inning ago, and a chance to go to work now. He will be, as we said, dealing with O'Quinn. Danny, what else do we have on Easton O'Quinn?
Yeah, well, you guys noticed earlier the success that he had at the plate. He told me this week he's been more disciplined, not chasing, and he's been working on picking up off-speed pitches. Another thing, too, is he said, I've been hunting the fastball. I want to swing early in the count, and he's got a little help. Former big leaguer Stephen Drew, he said he's been working with him more so when it comes to his position at third base and his defense, but not a bad guy to pick up some tricks from, guys. So he's going to come up to bat, but that's what he's been working on this week.
Yeah, good stuff, Danny. Stephen Drew was a young, soft-spoken talent for the Diamondbacks when they sent guys like Justin Upton, Chris Young, who you now know of MLB Network fame, and then Stephen Drew. Those three came, and as very young men, many forget the Diamondbacks, we know their success last year, won a championship, won the West in 07 with Stephen Drew. And now Stephen, where's time gone? Old enough to be coaching young athletes.
Right. Just to have those types of people around. So many of these guys have their stories and who helped impact them. We saw it with Braylon Payne and his handful of coaches yesterday. And the fact that everyone wants to give back is just, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for me now, the opportunity to make some sort of a living and the growth, and this is the positive of the growth of travel sports. As O'Quinn fouls that one back. Good fastball, 82 miles an hour. To me, the positive, there are more opportunities and there are more folks that are coaches that played in the minors, played in the big leagues that, you know, can earn a living as well and give back. Some of it's volunteers, some of it's earning a living, but there are a lot of teachers of this game now. Breaking ball, ground ball, middle of the diamond, and that one skitters on into center field, and it is a base hit. Couple of runs will score. Oh, it's getting interesting, and it's still early. 10-8 is our number. How about Easton O'Quinn? He's got a couple of hits.
We're up to 17 runs so far this inning set, and I don't think East wants to slow up at any point. See O'Quinn here just stay on it, match plane, and put it right back up the middle. Van Wormer almost got to it, reached out his glove, nearly got there, but everything's happening if you're a batter right now. Everything that can happen is happening in a positive way.
Trey Lawrence takes strike one. I can't, like, right-handed batters that are great contact hitters, that are really quiet and present at the plate, you know, with O'Quinn. I mean, he's kind of like Edgar Martinez. I mean, that kind of a piece and approach. We always have fun comping lefties to lefties, and there are some great names, but it's so confident in the box. And you've talked about it, how hitterish he is, but
yep.
O'Quinn just is like an athlete who was just born to hit.
Really, even last year at 12U, I'd go down and with Johnny McAdams and Tony Harper and kind of hang out for the 12Us, and they like to see who I like, and that was the one last year who I came away with.
Lawrence hit it hard, and it gets on by into left field. Trey Lawrence with an aggressive swing, and they're getting closer. It's 10-9. Trey Lawrence with a rocket off the bat. He was hit back in the first inning. That one was too much for Dylan Mercado to handle.
You get to see the strength right there from Lawrence, and in terms of just physicality, bat speed, not many in this game are able to match what he does. Mercado tried to come in on the backhand. I think he was thinking, too, if he could pick it, step on the bag, and throw across, because he has that type of arm strength. But instead, 8th run this half inning for the East, and they're within one.
Jason Morrill Jr. 0-1 the count to Morrill. Colton trying to reel it in. Who'd have thought all these runs? Fires that one home. A breaking ball down and away. How strong to go get that pitch and drive it into left center field. All the way to the track. A couple more runs scored. Looky, who's got the lead? Oh,
this is
felt
absurd.
like a runaway route. And now it's 11-10.
This is absurd. And again, there we get to see the strength of Jason Morrill. Backspinning that line drive to the pull side gap.
This pitch is not a bad pitch.
No, that's a breaking ball out and away. And with a wood bat at 13 years old, you shouldn't be able to impact the ball like that. And yet he's splitting the gap and driving in two and giving the East that lead. With the little Sally out on second base, too, of course.
Carter Nash now with an opportunity. Carter drives one right center field. That one is down. Nash flying on around out front. Morrill scores. It's 12-10.
This is something, Sut. I mean, you enter this inning down 10-1, then they come back with an 11 spot to counter.
Hitting it to the big part of the yard, too.
See the swing from Nash here, and we're seeing opposite gap shots here with the strength and pull side. You're seeing a little bit of everything right now.
Colton Pettinato gets the call. The catcher takes a good-looking fastball over the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Colton. Struck out back in the second inning.
Seeing good stuff here from Wyndham, too. The bat's really good, but on the mound, it's low 80s, up to 82, 83. Feel for that breaking ball, able to spot it and land it. And he had that, like you said, that one tomorrow was really nice, located out and away, and just happened to throw it to probably the strongest kid here, pound for pound.
1-2 the count as the fastball goes back to the screen. Pro names from this 13-unit event: Ralphie Velasquez, Slade Caldwell, the Guardians, the Diamondbacks, Connor Griffin, the Pirates, Cam Caminetti, the Braves, Theo Gillen, Chase Mobley, Ty Southacene, Eric Parker, all alums of this 13U game that was born in 2019 that have already been drafted. As that one has popped up, right field. Over and under is Russell Nelson out there playing some in the outfield now, and he puts that one away.
As a whole, for us, too, just the process of those first couple years to what it is now, from all the high-level events and what they've grown to, the National Showcase being kind of that feeder like it is for the PGL American Classic now. Whereas before it was, which 13-year-olds do we know, have we seen, do we know that are kind of the standout guys? Now we're getting a full spring, full summer cycle of them where between myself, Tyler Russo, and all our other scouts, we're seeing 50-plus at-bats with our own eyes. So we really feel like we know these players by the time we show up. But, of course, anything in this type of setting can happen and will happen.
Geralimic takes a pitch high and inside. Did that get him? Yeah, it just got him on the helmet. Hopefully he's okay. I think he is. Anthony Meyer right on it, home plate umpire. Sends him down to first. Meyer with the ears to hear that one nick the helmet.
I think that's our second one that just grazed the helmet so far this game. Let's see it here on the replay.
Woo!
Just
fortunate.
Enough. Just enough. You know, if you're Noah, too, he probably wants to stay in there and get that at-bat.
Oh, of course. A game like this, being hit by a pitch is the last thing you want as Braden Miller takes outside. 1-0 the count. Yeah, international signees that you guys have invited to this game that have signed professionally. Ethan Salas, kind of a famous prospect with the Padres. Jose Perdomo, Luis Aiden Almeida. And the collective signing bonuses, if you include this year's draft, last year's draft, those international bonuses of the alums of this game, not the 14U game, but just of the 13U game, is north of $35 million. Crazy.
With really just 2 full cycles so far. So obviously it's a number that's going to continue to grow. And I'm just looking forward to the future growth of all these players. And end of the day, whenever that may be, this number is going to keep growing. So
that's fun. We talked about the Easton O'Quinn Home Run Derby winner, the first ever winner, Ralphie Velasquez, at this event. And he won it in 2019. He's now in the Guardians organization. Now a first baseman, was a catcher.
Yep.
And Connor Griffin won it in 2020, first-round pick of the Pirates. Those are your Home Run Derby champions through the years. Put on the ground. Next to the bag at second. Unable to hold on to it. Good effort there. Everybody's safe. But unable to turn it into an out. The Defensive Player of the Year, Brandon Onavong.
That 2020 Derby out in OKC when we had 13-14 and the All-American Classic, the finals was Connor Griffin against Jose Perdomo. So I think their paths kind of held true, and Perdomo signed, I believe, for $5 million, and Connor signed for north of $5 million. So not bad for a 13U Derby.
Jaden Freese, the East has done it. In a 16-batter lineup, they have batted around.
They have made it all the way around back to Tarzan.
And it's Jaden Freese. Freeze hits a high fly ball, center field. Hanging up nicely, it's put away out there by Andres Armenta. A third inning that gave you 21 runs. Don't ever say we never gave you anything.
All right, welcome back to the Dish. The East just took the lead, by the way, in the bottom of the first, 12-10 over the West. This is your Turtle Box game break. I'm with Rusty Nelson, starting pitcher for the West team. You did get to start today. You seem more calm now, but what was that experience like for you getting to start?
I was just really amped, to get to go out there and dominate and compete against great players. It's always fun.
How fun has this weekend been for you guys? You're the 13U Select Festival. You're the top athletes at this age.
It's really cool. The experience here, what you get, and the players that you get to play against is something that nobody can imagine playing.
All right, so you put up a bunch of runs in the top of the frame, and then somehow the East team batted around 16 hitters and came back to take the lead. What's your take on the game so far?
Everybody can hit here, so there are going to be a lot of runs at school.
All right, I want to ask you a question, too, about you on the mound. We talked about some of the things you've been working on, how you wanted to improve. Walk us through what you've done over the last year to get to where you are.
I've done a lot of lifting, and I've been working out with PDP. Shout out McGuire Ryan for helping me. And I've also been doing a lot of pitching lessons there that help me get through struggles that I have.
That's awesome. We saw a video last night at the banquet of your dad. We know he's deployed right now. How special was that to see him and the message he sent you?
Well, it meant a lot to me. Just to get to see his face and to hear him talking meant a lot.
You told me you hadn't seen him in about 4.5 months. I know that's got to be tough, but when you go out there, are you thinking about him on the mound?
Sometimes I have, yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us about this West team? You guys are down by 2 right now in the 4th.
We're going to be up 10 at the end of the game.
You heard it here first, guys.
Oh, great stuff. Great shout out from his dad last night. Incredible. Just wonderful moments. Trent O'Malley is on the mound. Thank you, Danny, by the way. Trent O'Malley takes the rock and he rolls. We've seen him hit already. Big power. And he's dealing with Reese Parker. I failed to mention Reese Parker. Of course, the Mississippi man is the cousin of JoJo and Jacob Parker. Perfect game All-Americans. And both trending to be high draft picks next year. Quite a family affair. The Parker family represented at multiple age groups.
Yeah, and I mean, just going to the Twins real quick, not to take away from Reese, but we've seen them since 13, 14U. Jacob, always that big physical one. JoJo had the instincts, didn't have the size yet. He's caught up, and 2 really good players who we just saw out in Arizona. And I mean, left-handed hitters are apparently genetic in the Parker family because Reese is a good one, and we saw him throughout the summer, and everything he did, he lived on the barrel and just checks, like, you see him just take pitches and how confident he is in the box and goes about it as really businesslike. Saw him at the PGI, hit a home run. His team got up a bunch, and he switched to wood. At an event he can swing a drop 5, he went to wood for an at-bat or 2 with his team up, so he's always looking to get those reps in.
Reese takes away in and off the plate. He gives a fun rundown of his family athletic ties. He said, look, Dad played football, basketball, baseball. Mom twirled the baton and was a feature twirler in college. Oldest brother Brandon, baseball and got drafted by the Braves. Big brother Tate, baseball for Dallas Baptist. Won a World Series at Pearl River Community College. Both my older brothers hold home run records at their junior colleges and were National Players of the Year. As he draws a walk, he goes on to finish My cousins, Jacob and JoJo Parker, as we were mentioning, are insane athletes, and they're both committed to Mississippi State for baseball. Don't forget Sis Daisy's a cheerleader at the junior college level, 3 national championships. Sis Molly cheers for high school and is a national champion. And by the way, younger sister Maggie plays softball and rides horses. Those Parkers are active.
You talked about the older brothers. Reese is the youngest, and the youngest is always the best. I'm going to maintain that. So he's got some big shoes to fill, but he's off to a very good start of his own.
All right, Brandon and Tate, you hear that? And maybe even cousins, JoJo and Jacob. He's coming for all of you guys.
All of them.
What a fun family, Mississippi-based family, the Parkers.
First pitch strike there from Trent O'Malley after the leadoff walk. That's got to feel good just to be able to harness it back in. And
Parker takes off as the pitch comes home, and it's fouled off out of play.
Certainly seeing no hesitation out of the guys on the bases. It is not a showcase setting, but a laid-back environment, and if you can get the wheels in motion here, stay out of a double play potentially, and keep the inning moving along.
Didn't chase that fastball up and away. This is the first year for Nathan to play on a national level as he hits now, and he talked about it. He said, I learned so much. I want to give a big thank you to Coach Thacker for inviting me to join his travel team squad. He said, this summer taught me there will be eyes on you at all times at such big events like PGI, Beast of the East. He said, I've grown in many, many ways. I've matured as a baseball player, and I do understand now more than ever this game is a game of failure, and it's how you handle that failure.
For sure. And I was actually talking to him warming up today when they're out in the outfield. I'm like, 12U, because this is his first select festival. I said, where were you last year? He goes, I didn't play national. I played local, picked up with the team in the fall, made the All-State team, and the rest is kind of history.
Runner on the move, beautiful throw down. Got him! Oh, what a tag, what a throw, what a job. Everyone working together. Pettinato fired a bolt right on top of the bag.
That was a beautiful throw from Pettinato. I mean, he was behind the plate. Those legs got to be a little tired from a 10-run inning, but the arm certainly wasn't there. Look at the release and how quick it was. Throw on the bag. Carballo reaches out, brings it back, and right there, everything just well executed.
And that was to strike him out, throw him out in an inning where outs have been at a premium. You couldn't find him anywhere.
No, that's huge for East, and 85 there on that last pitch from O'Malley, so he's fired up. And maybe we're back set. Little innings now.
Cameron Hockett wags that bat in the batter's box. Pretty breaking ball.
Good-looking pitch. Might have fooled the ump a little bit there, too.
That can happen.
Hey, a 21-run inning. I can't fault anybody.
Over the outside corner, pretty fastball for a strike.
You get to see the physicality here of O'Malley, but how he works on the mound. He's always been at the top of the class in terms of velocity. He was 82, 83 at 12U, so you can imagine what that felt like with his size, just releasing the ball on top of hitters, it felt like. And he's maintained. We've seen him up to 85 today, I believe. We've seen him up to 86 this summer at I believe, the 13U World Series, and he's with Top Dog Ghost. And another one, if you look, just working exclusively out of the stretch, big body, keep things simple.
The 2-2. Fastball, blew it right by him. That's strike 3. We see you down there. We see you, O'Malley, cleaning things up. Trent knew balance was needed. Things had gotten crazy at the Select Festival. Look who just restored order. Sheriff O'Malley.
All right, welcome back. Bottom 4 at the Dish. The East still up over the West right now, 12-10. Jason Marl Jr. with me drove in the go-ahead runs. You guys had to climb out of a hole early in this game. What was the chatter in the dugout?
Definitely more energy, bringing it to the game, and we just started hitting more, picking each other up when we were failing, especially earlier in the game. I mean, I think we were 8 runs in the third, and we just came back. We kept lifting each other up as a team and kept working together, scoring more and more runs, and we just had fun.
What's your approach at the plate? We talked about some of the adjustments you've made over the last year, but what was your goal when you stepped up?
Just stay loose, stay comfortable. I mean, my hitting coach, Evan Holland, I mean, that's all he told me, just thinking that in my head, stay loose and everything, just driving it, using my hips more in my lower half, and yeah.
How much fun are you guys having?
A whole lot of fun. It's once-in-a-lifetime experience, having a great time.
You've been great. Great job so far. We got a lot of game left, though, so thank you.
Thank you.
D?
Good stuff. He has been great. And that was a pretty great replay on that swing. Went down, level swing. I don't know how you get a level swing shoot top high, besides the fact you're a really good athlete on a pitch that's breaking down and away from you. Dylan Mercado is working on the mound, and his first foe is Terrell Hampton Hall. Hampton Hall reached on a miscue and scored a run last inning.
Like we said with Mercado earlier, the two-way player of the year. Could have been pitcher, could have been hitter. And just kind of see him going about business. He's not going to light up the radar guns like some of these other arms, but he's got that long, loose arm action. Really good extension out front. So similarly to Kramer, where that velocity shows on the radar gun, but hitters are thinking it's harder just based off how it's come through the zone.
Hampton Hall comes up a little bit short on a good-looking fastball. Not due to a lack of an aggressive swing, but down he goes on strikes.
Good swing there. I mean, Hall was trying to hit a grand slam with that one, but Mercado is just really balanced and athletic in the delivery, and you just watch him go about his business. It's easy to repeat. Moving parts, not so much, but strikes, plenty so far.
Ivan Carballo. One and one the count. His dad played football and baseball, and then amateur baseball after his military service in the Army. His mom, Lynette, softball player in high school. And his grandfather, Jose Santos, talking about Carballo, the hitter, playing Double-A baseball in Puerto Rico.
Carballo's been able to do a variety of things this summer. I've seen him play up, seen him play his age, seen him behind the plate, seen him in middle infield. Here's another one with Paris Head, who was at the 13U main event and really started to position himself as one of the guys you need to know going into the summer. And then throughout the summer, you catch the at-bats. Being a Florida kid, he plays in a lot of stuff down there, and you see him at Stanford, see him out at PGI, see him everywhere, and it ended up being just a model of consistency with what he did at the plate and defensively.
So you earn a chance to show your stuff in a game like this, an all-star game, an all-American game, if you will. Mercado, by the way, as he works on the mound, how well-rounded he is as a player. He's that well-rounded as a student. Exceptional in the classroom as he misses that time, and it's ball 4. I asked Mercado, as I asked all of his teammates, look, if I take baseball away, what are you doing with the rest of your life? In other words, what are your skills and passions beyond baseball? Just one sentence. He said, I want to become a structural engineer to help build the United States and move the world.
Gotta love that.
It's just a thoughtful answer.
Right. It just kind of speaks to the thought process to deliver that to you as an answer.
Mason's turn. Mason Malone May from Lilburn, Georgia. Providence Christian Academy. Gail and Todrick were talking about that, his parents.
Tyler Russo got to watch a lot of him at the 13U World Series just prior to the national showcase, and he's sending me videos of, like, look at this kid. Watch him run. Look at how he's swinging the bat. Then he comes to the national, and he puts one out in game, and it's like, yeah, that was a good find, Russo. So he's here now, earned his invite, and I think he's our lone Georgia representative this year as well. So Got to get a little peach in the game.
AB honor roll student. Volunteers with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta. Calls his mom his inspiration. She never gives up. She has the greatest work ethic. Gail, that's got to make you proud to hear your son say that. And he said, by the way, my sports idol, Juan Soto. I love the confidence and I love the personality, says hitter Mason Malone. Malone will see the runner take off. He'll take a pitch down and away. Throw down. He had swiped that one. Got a big jump. He stole that one on Mercado. Chance Kidd continues to work and grind behind the plate. And to your point, talking about Chance, it has been fun to see a name that we all know pretty well in Jason Kidd, especially my generation of sports fans, and just the level of blend, the desire to blend with the other families and other parents, and did it quite easily.
Oh, yeah.
And yet was very approachable, warm, wonderful conversations.
Yep.
On this trip, he's not a star guard. He's not an assist king. He's not a head coach. He's a dad.
And that's very level-headed about it and just easy to talk to as well.
Talked about the comeback for David Canton. Back to health after being struck by that line drive in March. We told that story briefly last night. I don't know that everybody knew on both teams what he had been through, and it sparked up a standing ovation at the awards ceremony, from not just from his teammates, but from everybody in attendance.
Rightfully so. I mean, that happened in March. For that to have all happened and him to be on the field, it wasn't just now. It's been all summer he's been playing, which is just crazy to think about. So Canton's here looking for a little redemption. Got hit in his first at-bat. We saw him throughout BP go line to line, so a lot of space out there. Get something to fall and pick yourself up an RBI.
Victorio snap throw back just in time. He thought he might have had it.
Ooh.
Beautiful, beautiful throw. Nateo, and actually not Chance working behind the plate. We were talking about Chance Kidd. It's Nateo Victorio, but he popped one right there on top of the bag.
I thought he got him. Guess not, though.
Noah Verzal, the pitcher, working at first now. Canton swings and he misses. Good downward dive. Looked like a changeup there. Off-speed pitch anyway. And it's strike three.
Died right at the plate there. Good pitch from Mercado to keep it low. If you can keep the ball down, usually good things are going to happen. We've had our fair share of ground balls sneak through, but every so often you're going to get them to swing right over the top of it. Good pitch there from Mercado.
Alexander Bayo opened this game as the starting pitcher of the Orlando native. He now gets a chance to hit a little bit later on in his game. He'll see both runners in front of him take off, and it's a double steal.
These guys have been active all day on the bases. But again, why not? It's one game. You only get one shot at it, so get after it.
When not pitching, he's an infielder defensively, Alexander. Pretty good bat to go along with the arm?
Yeah, for sure. It's short and it's simple, but you can see the physicality of his frame allows him to drive the ball without, kind of talked about it on the mound, out of the stretch, keeping it simple. His swing is very simple. There's not a huge load with the hands or in the lower half. It's just let the strength go within your hands and put the ball in play.
He took a shot at extra bases to the right side that time. Beautiful approach.
Pulled him in very short to it.
That was exactly as described. Folks, that's how you scout. If you heard exactly what Jeremy said about the short, quick approach, hitter follows with a short, quick approach.
Be a big pitch here for Mercado if he can escape with another 0.
Tried to spin a breaking ball. Here's that swing. Short, quick approach, right?
Went with more of a leg lift there than we saw all weekend, but got it down on time where it wasn't still hanging or he was late.
The 2-2. Fastball, that's strike 3. Let her high, got a swing and a miss. And then posting 3 strikeouts in the inning, a couple of walks. He stranded base runners as well. A crazy game. We've seen 22 runs, but guess what? The pitchers are restoring order.
Wow. That's crazy. I feel no pain, nothing. That's like crazy. Zero pain, zero. That's crazy, dude. Like, I can't feel my traps anymore because they've been going and they're super loose now. But my legs, it almost feels like somebody's just like, bump, bump, bump. It feels like you're getting a massage, free massage.
Shoot my pro, no better way to go.
The weather is warm and it's the perfect time of year to cook outside. Loco Smart Temp griddles provide precise and controllable griddle surface temperatures ranging from 250 degrees all the way up to a sear setting. The cooking temperature always stays exactly where you set it, so your meal always comes out just right. Cultivating great experiences is part of our DNA, and everyone has a seat at our table, so pull up a chair. Cook faster and party longer with Loco Cookers.
Perfect Game 13 Youth Select Festival at the Dish on campus at the University of Virginia. What a sparkling stadium this is. So, I mean, just a beautiful facility. A place to come play college baseball, the 2015 national champs. Jaden Freese gets the call. We've seen him hit already. We know all about that hair, but now Jaden gets the call up onto the bump to go to work. Right-handed pitcher, can play just about anywhere on the field. 5-star national. And is seen as his travel team. Should mention Top Dog goes to USA Prime Northeast to be specific about those travel teams.
Yep.
What about him as a pitcher?
The athleticism that we see in the middle infield, in the outfield, on the bases. You see that high leg kick from him. And at 13U National, he came out and just shot the knees for like 2 or 3 innings consecutively, maintained his velocity, can spin the breaking ball. And as he continues to grow and fill out, we're going to find out ultimately where he ends up. But right now, he's very much a real two-way guy.
He was talking about the recruiting process. They're still a couple of years away, obviously. Said, I prepared for the recruiting process as he gets a chance to deal with Louis Lappy, Little League World Series hero. Freese said, I prepared for the recruiting process by getting myself into showcases and big events against the best. So when I see scouts, I won't be that nervous when the day comes. He said, I want to be in big spots all the time when I'm young to prepare myself, if I've earned it, for more high-profile games when I'm older.
It makes plenty of sense to me. And we see that a lot in Jupiter now. There's a lot of underclassmen, young guys, some of the top young guys go. And whether they play or not, they're getting that experience of being in front of the golf carts that are there by the dozens on any field. So that's similarly in the approach of what Freese just talked about.
Comes with a fastball. Great approach. Line drive right field. It is a base hit. Louis Lappy with a single to right field. A little bit more on Louis. Danny, what do you have for us?
Well, Dee, you talked about it earlier, the Little League World Series hero last year with that walk-off home run. I got to ask him about it, and he said, well, we did a victory lap, right? We got to go to Dodger Stadium. We went to Angel Stadium. He got pictures with Mike Trout and Mookie Betts. This kid did it all. They celebrated him and El Segundo. They were the heroes of the Little League World Series. And he said, listen, the only thing I was thinking going up there was just hit the ball. Just hit the ball. He said it was awesome to be there, walk around and meet people. Signed a ton of autographs too, but it was a really special experience for him to be there, D.
And he earned it. SoCal came a-calling. If you're a major league organization, what else would you do but invite that team and invite that athlete? Not surprised that a couple of friends of Perfect Game, Betts and Trout, who we've been able to get to know over the last year plus, took time for him. That kind of falls to within who those big leaguers are.
Yeah, and it goes back to all these guys that have gone through, been in these guys' shoes and want to give back. And we heard from both Trout and Mookie last night during the banquet. And soon enough, these guys are going to be in their shoes and want to give back to our guys in these types of games.
On the move and into second base, swiping that bag. Nathan Malone is out there grinding and heads into third. Pinch running there for Lappy and a stolen base, and then moved along on the miscue on the throw.
He's just letting the athleticism take over there for Malone. See how quick those feet are moving. Pops up, sees where the ball's at, and didn't think twice about it. Yeah, we got Lappy down in the bullpen getting loose for his inning, so it's almost like a cheat code. Go put your fastest kid out there right away.
That one skips toward home plate, as that one will play to run. Come on down, they say, and he does so. Lappy gave way to a pinch runner, and boy, was that the right choice. Nathan Malone just got his sprints in.
That wasn't even for him. When he comes back up, he's going to have to do it all over again, hopefully, in his mind. So
12-11.
You can hear that West dugout getting a little rowdy. The energy's back.
84 miles an hour. That one's outside. It's ball 4.
That looked like a pretty good pitch there, set at the knees.
Brandon Manavong.
You see how the arm works for Freeze, just how loose and easy it is on the mound to be able to generate 84, and he's not the biggest of kids that we have here, so for him to have that type of velocity speaks to the arm talent, the athleticism, and the ability to get the most out of his frame. Nice breaking ball there to start off the at-bat to Paris Head.
Head has a great story about basketball and baseball and his love affair and his aunt and all that goes into being. He's a gifted athlete, Paris Head. On that tippy toe with that lead foot. It's a breaking ball and it's a ground ball. High off the mound, third base side, fielding, firing, and not in time. Little infield swing on a high chop. Paris Head is on.
Anything that can happen right now is happening if you're a bat. In a good way for the bats. Unfortunate for the pitching and defense, but we've seen bloopers, we've seen chops, and just gives you a little more excitement.
Yeah, Head talked about his auntie introducing him to basketball. He said, I didn't like basketball very much, so then she introduced me to baseball. I like that a lot. He said, but then I let my auntie know as I got older, I got back into basketball last year. Now he's at first. And Chance Kidd hits from Dallas. Chance goes to school at Prestonwood Christian Academy. Coach Valade. Of course, Ryan Valade playing all the way to the big leagues. His son, that's his head coach. Kane's Southwest Scout team is his travel team for Chance. Chance would love it to play at Florida State, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Alabama, one of those schools someday.
He's come out and I talked to him this morning. I said, I think you grew another inch or two since you did check-in. Because he just feels he's so big back there, but defensively he's solid behind the plate. The arm's going to play. 6'2", 195, big kid already. And he was trying to put balls through the bleachers during his round of home run derby yesterday in the prelims. There were a couple that they came in hot out into left field.
And you may be wondering, basketball, has he played it? Oh, he's played it. Played it well, AAU basketball. Played tennis as well competitively. But Kidd played soccer for 5 years, hockey for 4 years as well.
Love that.
He gives his dad a lot of credit. Jason Kidd, the NBA Hall of Famer, for encouraging him to play everything he could.
The one question I asked Chance about Dad this year, or this weekend, that involved Dad, I should say, they were playing video games, playing MLB The Show, and I said, hey, when you play 2K, NBA 2K, do you play as your dad? He says, absolutely. So that was the one thing I asked him about Jason, and he looked at me and said, you have to, and I can't fault him for that.
Carballo working behind the plate for Pettinato this inning. The runners will take off. Attempted throw on a backhand. No throw. Big jump. Brandon leading the charge. Paris right behind. A double steal.
Chance stood his ground in the box there, too, so having to work around a 6'2" human in the box for Carballo didn't really stand a chance there.
The 2-1. Just off the plate outside, 3-1 the count. Well, there is a depth of resources as someone I can speak to, being the son of a Hall of Famer on the baseball side. Chance, the son of a Hall of Famer on the basketball side there. If you listen, and if you pay attention, and Dad is kind enough to bring you around to work, you can learn a lot. And you can sense Chance has that maturity and the humility. As it's easy, I can speak to lose touch with reality when you have that kind of life. What good pitch in on the hands, and an even better play gobbling it up, but then the throw is high. That was a nice play ranging over to his left, but unfortunately Knox Myers couldn't throw accurately, and they get busy on the base pads.
Freeze got the ball he needed there for the infield chopper, but got to see the arm there from Knox Myers again. Came through it clean, just a little high over there to first base. Just got to keep putting the ball in play. The West was going to tie it up regardless. They were off on contact there. They were able to come around from second and take the lead. Good swing, good slide there from Paris. Showing off that run tool you talked about earlier in the opening set.
Yeah, flying around and fun to see. Good little dive around the tag as well. 0-1 the count to Mateo Meyer. Meyer hit by a pitch last time up. That plated a run, though. 13-12 the score. That's right. 13-12 the score. Kid sees it get away and moves into scoring position.
Good read there from Chance. The ball snuck behind Mateo Meyer, but
Meyer's got some fun schools that he's thinking about already. How about Vanderbilt, UCLA, or Notre Dame? By the way, all three great academic schools.
They're on my flight in from Charlottesville, to Charlottesville from Charlotte coming in. They had to take a red eye like so many of these families did to be here for Thursday check-in. They were tired. Everyone was tired from the West Coast, but once you get that room revealed, the excitement's there, the adrenaline kicks in, and you probably didn't go to bed until midnight despite not sleeping in probably what felt like 24 hours.
He loves playing other sports, talking about Meyer, using different muscles, different movements. It's allowed me to understand my body, gain control of my athleticism. He said, I owe that all to playing multiple sports like football and basketball. One and two the count on Mateo Meyer. Well, sinking line drive to the right side. They look for two, unable to put two in the books. Charlie Blaylock skips on over, makes the play for the out.
This is one here, Landon King, that I almost wanted to talk about in the opening real quick because we didn't see a ton of him, but he's a 2028. He was highly ranked from what we had seen from him. I think, top 100 in the country. Then he came out to national. It's like he's from NorCal. He's big. He's physical. But he's athletic. And the strength in his hands and throughout his frame really play well in that left-handed swing. We saw him pick up a single earlier in the game. But he was putting balls in the air throughout his rounds of BP, throughout his in-game at-bats. And you're like, NorCal's not an area you get to really even see guys this young from. Plus, he's athletic, has all the tools, and kind of like these other guys, he demanded a spot. He made us take him into this game with his performance down at West Palm Beach.
Pops in and out of the catcher's mitt, so kid will move up. Love those stories. First of all, athletes that are fortunate enough to find their way there, have the support of family, and they're able to get there, and then they understand all that, and then they perform. He's in school at St. Francis in Mountain View, California. Eric Waggles, his head coach there. Alpha Prime, his travel team. Adam Farb, one of the leaders of that group.
That Alpha team, they're constantly, it feels, producing perfect game All-Americans year after year for us.
And King was saying, for the next 2 years, and these are his words, I'm going to keep my head down. Work as hard as I possibly can to be the best I can be so that I have a lot of options and opportunities when August 1st of my junior year arrives.
It's a big date now. Like we were talking during our preview recording of the 14U. We got one kid at the 14U game this year with Luke Esquivel, committed to LSU, was the first one in 2028 to commit, and he'll be the last ever, unless they change the rule, he'll be the last ever committed player to play in a festival. And I think you can see both ends of it, why they did it, and the goods and the bads of it, implementing that rule and waiting until junior year.
One positive I see is more for the player who maybe views himself through his journey as a fringe player. Maybe I should keep playing. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'll switch to another sport. I think baseball holds on to that athlete.
Yep.
Because their dreams haven't been dashed. All their buddies may get recruited. They may get committed.
Yep.
And they're supposed to be the best player there can be the way God has made them. Not until they're juniors or seniors.
Right.
They're late bloomers. So I submit that as a positive.
For sure. And having those coaches there at 13, 14, you puts a bit of pressure on the players, too, where if they go 0 for 3, they don't realize, guys, you're 13, 14 years old. There's so many games left to play. Interesting defensive alignment here. Left side in, right side back.
Man, that's by design. They're doing that intentionally with the left-handed batter, Landon King. And he does pull it. It's a slow roller. Not an easy play, as that one skips by the first baseman. And everybody's safe. And another run will score. And it's 14-12.
I think we had a little groundhog pop up there to something a little routine, but maybe some weird spin off the barrel where it just hopped late, getting off the grass onto the dirt.
Freeze gets the call. Unable to make the play out there at first base was Easton O'Quinn. So it was a wild inning. O'Quinn will pitch, by the way, and Bell will move to first base. Launch Hydrate game summary. H, you don't need to name them all or name names, but besides the walks and the hit batters, what did you learn from the hitting in that 21-run combined inning?
Whew. There's a lot, and I think just going back to put it in play and good things are going to happen. I think the biggest swing there is probably from Mateo with the bases loaded to drive it to the pull side gap in an 0-2 count, but Trey there, he smoked that ball. Easton O'Quinn, Jason Marles found barrels, Carter Nash with the Oppo Blast double. There's been a lot. To have a 10-run inning and then come back with 11 of your own. I know it's 13U baseball. I'll remind you of that again, but it's been entertaining, and I think the fans are getting their money's worth.
In the first big game, big opportunity, not a tournament game, but a showcase level All-American game is Easton O'Quinn, the probably most pure hitter in this class. Gets the call now to do a little bit of work on the mound and help out.
Long term, he's going to be a bat, right? You don't ever want to pigeonhole somebody into one or the other, but the bat is as good as it could be. But he comes out and he's going to throw strikes. We talked about it yesterday when you were announcing him as the 13U Player of the Year, what he's been able to accomplish on the mound. And in a time like this with this game, you just need to kind of halt the West momentum. And based off what he's done this year, he should be able to do just that.
Floridian from Brantford, Florida. He is the hitter that, as an athlete with a bat in his hands, worked with Stephen Drew. His favorite players are Austin Riley and Matt Olson of the Braves. And O'Quinn, quite an outdoorsman. Hunting, fishing, deer hunting, dove hunting, duck, turkey, and then saltwater fishing.
All things I can say I've never done. I don't do any type of fishing, so.
Well, I'd like to say you don't know what you're missing out on, but I don't know what you're missing out on. Here's Russell Nelson. First at bat for the talented pitcher, the starting pitcher in this game. Charles Johnson, the elite catcher, with a fist bump for Mr. Kidd as he heads in. This pitch misses up and away, scampering down and swiping the bag that time. Landon King with a head-first slide and a stolen base. "26 runs, 16 hits. That was boxed behind home plate. It looked like it almost crossed him up.
Definitely got crossed up immediately. Carballo looked out to him. New pitcher, runner gets on second base quick. Something like that's bound to happen.
They're going through the signals right now, just reminding him. If I'm O'Quinn and I take myself back in time at that age, I just let him know, hey, just put down the single one for a fastball. Right. If they want to tip my pitch and share that in an all-star game, more power to them. But I don't want to hurt you or cross you up.
Right.
So the right-hander on 2-0 zips a fastball in there. 2-1 the count.
You saw Easton come right out, go first pitch breaking ball. Again, we've seen that with a lot of guys with the confidence to kind of go to it and the trust they have in their pitches. And obviously Easton's a primary bat, but as a secondary to come in and do what he's doing.
Spikes that one right through the wickets, and it skips on by to the backstop, and another run will score. And it's 15-12, the Westies. Magical 15th run.
Do you remember last year's score?
I don't.
Me neither.
A lot.
It was a lot for West.
But it was a one-sided affair. This is not that. Russell takes low. Having fun, man. Having fun. Rooster hustles on down to first.
I asked him about that. That came from his jiu-jitsu coach way back when. The nickname. Obviously, Rusty's a nickname, but definitely one of the bigger personalities in this event overall, not just on West.
Another pitcher getting to hit, Noah Verzal. It's a left-handed bat. 0-1 the count to Noah. A breaking ball hit the inside corner.
Look at Noah there, 6'3", 220. Out at the PGA, I think he hit 2 of his 4 home runs came at that event, and the last one was in the playoffs and against ZT. He just absolutely turned on a pitch for a no-doubt blast.
Look at this pick and tag. Wow, got him in second base. Incredible effort. Carballo with a beautiful throw, but it was all about, for me, that pick and that tag. I believe that's Braden Miller out there at short. Wow.
Primary third baseman sliding over and showing what the hands can do. Carballo, that middle infield type, showing off the quick exchange, but like you said, Miller went up and got it on the bounce, slapped it straight down, and they were able to get Rusty out at second base.
2-1 the count to Noah. That was fun. That was a moment in a game that at times is bouncing around, getting a little bit crazy. You may say too many free passes. Moments like that are where you see these athletes and you understand how good they're going to be as they get older.
Without a doubt. And again, that's one or two of the puzzle pieces. You remember that play when you start thinking about, hey, how do the hands work? And it's like, well, he made this play in this situation. And it's just one piece of trying to figure out who all these kids are, which is obviously way easier said than done.
Fastball swung on and missed. That's strike 3. Good stuff, piecing it back together very nicely for the right-hander, the National Player of the Year at this age group, Easton O'Quinn. In a big country. Big country pitched well. Back on campus, the Who's. They'll be playing fall baseball soon. Rawlings, defensive play of the game. I'm going to go with catch and throw, catch and tag. H for our defensive plays of the game. They have been beautiful today. Catcher, middle infielder.
Yeah, and you're seeing these throws. They're on the money. More often than not, the ball's even beating the middle infielder to the bag at times. But these the swipe tags they've been on point. And we had one earlier with Noah Geralamick as well, back picking the runner at third base.
Louis Lappy gets the call, the Little League World Series hero who has already pitched in a base hit. Pretty approach, by the way, Lappy's base hit. He'll hop up on the mound now and go to work.
A couple of hits for Lappy, and the swing's really been different than what we saw in BP, where it was that long, loose, and leverage, the 3 Ls, but he's really stayed short and just let his size and strength do the damage for him.
Nathan Handley-White gets the call to swing the bat. Already has worked on the mound. Lappy is out of El Segundo, California. Third baseman, first baseman, and a pitcher. When you ask Lappy where he may want to play someday, 2 schools he'll toss your way. He'll tell you Ole Miss and Georgia. Those are the ones I think about now.
Starting to see a variety of it. Used to be dominated by 1 or 2 schools. Now it's all over the place. A lot of California kids wanted to come East Coast, it seems.
7th grade as a student for Lappy was really good. Straight A's both semesters during his 7th grade year. Not a single B.
You saw in the opening there when he took the mound. I think he had, 7 innings this summer. We didn't see him a ton on the national circuit, but another one. He came to the 13U National and was that type that, hey, I'm taking a spot in this game, you have to take me. He 90-mile-per-hour exit velo. I think he struck out 6 over 3 innings of work on the mound, up to 84. The arm work, the breaking ball work, but it's, again, kind of like Easton O'Quinn, you're buying the bat, but at 13, anything can happen, especially when you look at Lappy with that type of frame. He's big, he's long, he's going to continue to fill out, already in the low 80s, up to 84 with the fastball in prior looks, so anything can happen at this age.
Pitchers getting to hit now. Later in this game, Grayson Bell is another one behind Nathan Handley-White. And the first pitch over the inside corner. Fastball, nice and easy for a strike from Lappy.
Seen a really short and simple delivery here from Lappy, too. There, that shorter stride coming down the mound, but seems to be in time with his body pretty quick.
And a couple of back-to-back pretty pitches. Grab the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes to count. 15-12. That's right, 15-12 our score. Back in there, 0-2. Missed just off the plate.
I think he tried to maybe front door a changeup there, located on the inner half, which is a dangerous pitch, because if that leaks back over, that's middle.
Yeah, followed it up with a fastball right at an even 80 miles an hour. 1-2 the count on Bell. I ask all these athletes, if I take baseball away, what are you doing for the rest of your life? Happy said, if there was no baseball, I would form and start a restaurant. I'd create the best restaurant in the world, and we would feature the best steaks.
Let me know when. I'll be there.
You'll be there.
I'll be there.
I think he hopes to, since no one's taken baseball away, do it maybe after he plays in the big leagues.
Just let me know when. I will be there. Fouls that one away. We do have our pitchers come in once the position guys kind of get their first 2 at-bats. That way we tell them, hey, guys, pitchers, the guys who are here primarily to pitch as the front inning guys, you're going to get your time to shine on the mound. Camera's going to be on you every single pitch, whereas an at-bat could end in 1 hit by pitch, and you're on and you get 4 balls, nothing to swing at. So big innings like this, like that 3rd inning, and high-scoring games means more at-bats, which is always a good thing in this type of setting as well, as opposed to 1, 2, 3 type innings where you're seeing minimal at-bats.
Lappy misses a couple of walks to start the inning. D, what else you have on Lewis?
Yeah, I wanted to point something out that was cool. He's pitching right now, and he told me that his Little League team played against Brandon Manavong's Little League team in the regionals. And we talked about earlier, obviously, Lappy, the hero of the Little League World Series, but they played against each other last year, guys, to get to Williamsport. And now they're playing on the field together on the West team. So it just so happened that it worked out that way. But it's pretty cool that they're together right now.
On the same team. That was last year during the 12U Select Festival, too. So we were at Dave & Buster's, and all the guys were there watching that Friday night leading into Sunday's game. And Manavong was, obviously, Lappy's the one who advanced. Manavong made that cross-country flight and came with us for game day.
That's amazing. Charlie Blaylock gets the call now. Blaylock sporting number 20 on that jersey. That's a beautiful view of this yard. Just from up above the chairbacks, if you will. Charlie tries to shoot that one up the third base line, unable to do so. No balls and 2 strikes to count on Charlie Blaylock. Chuck from Vieira, Florida. He's got a twin. This is Sophia, a twin sister. There's that wide open stance, loads up that back leg, hands away from his body. As the 0-2 is a breaking ball that misses outside. Blaylock football 2, played running back on his Pop Warner football team. He said, I think it made me faster. I also think I bring some of the intensity and speed that I learned in the football world to the baseball field. And he also loves pickleball.
Who doesn't? Except you. I don't think you play yet, Sut.
No.
We'll get you going.
I don't play yet.
Yet is the key.
I played many years ago when it was first born, and I have taken some time off. I have not returned. I can recall playing like 8 or 9 years ago.
We used to play it in high school. It's a gym class sport.
Beautiful approach. Slapped that one on the ground. And that one gobbled up. Nice play, ranging over to his left. Landon King. They'll get one out of it. Nice defensive play. I love the approach as a hitter, and I love the play by King.
You saw King, he didn't come up with it cleanly on the transfer, didn't have a clean grip on the ball, and rather than panic, maintained, stuck to his plan, and still delivered a strike on to second base. So Charlie there just slaps it the other way. That ball's been finding the outfield all day, but King maintained his momentum to try to stop and throw to first base with Charlie running. Just wouldn't have happened. So they get an out, a crucial out.
Left-handed bat, Brody Taylor.
I don't know if you saw Manavong on the back end of that play, too. Faked like he was going to first to complete the second double play and spun to check the runner at third to see if he came too far off.
Runner takes off, throw down. Good attempt by Head on the tag, but Blaylock stole it. Big aggressive swing as that one is lifted foul.
We just had a close-up of that catcher's gear, and that was one of the talks on our first night here, having it custom from Rawlings to the UVA colors with the PG logo on it for him. We had the 11U, had that Miami Vice color. There it is again right there with the camo, the patterns of UVA colors. Good-looking stuff from the sponsors.
Tied him up in the side. 2-2 the count on Brody Taylor.
Brody was in the 11U game 2 years ago. Dealt with some injury, 12U. Didn't get to see him much at all. Then comes out and playing for that ZT team. Just hit the ground running and never stopped. Swung it well everywhere we saw him. Came to the 13U National, had a triple to the right field wall. Just really big physicality and strength, as you'd expect just looking at him.
He missed a large portion of his 12U time and excited to be back here playing at this national event. Elevated to the left side. And into the glove of the shortstop, Paris Head. Runners have to stay put right there. Second and third. 2 outs in the inning.
If you're the East, you want to get one run in at least. And I don't think there's anyone better to have at the plate right now with 2 outs and 2 on than Easton O'Quinn.
He's got a pair of singles already. He's got a stolen base. He's got a pair of RBIs. And O'Quinn, who is such a clutch hitter in these moments, tries to clutch up again. But a running play by Manavong takes away a couple of RBIs. The Rawlings Defensive Player of the Year made it look very, very easy. O'Quinn, like he always does, using the big part of the ballpark with a pretty swing, but the defense thwarted it.
I believe this is where it all began.
And here comes the pitch.
And this is the sweetest sound in the world.
Of course, to be able to swing a bat quick, you're going to have to be strong.
I believe you gotta rise before you can shine. That there is no agony worse than defeat.
The question is, does he have the bat speed? Does he have what it takes?
And an angel watches over me.
And swing it. Just keep swinging. Just keep swinging.
I believe this will all be worth it.
And the next pick in the 2024 draft is...
The Perfect Game Select Festival in Charlottesville, Virginia. Jeremy Brown, Danny Wexelman, Darren Sutton. And you. Thanks for being with us if you love the future of the game. No doubt that there were some smiles for all these hitters. The defenders were quite concerned. As we take a peek at our Diamond Cast stat of the game. And the stat of the game is simple. Third inning, 21 total runs. Yeesh. As Noah Gerolamick is front and center in your screen. There were some walks, there were a few miscues, but some beautiful hitting too.
Oh, for sure. Really impressive swings. Just overall, we've talked about it. Seeing the ball deep, going the other way, pulling it when you can. Just the approach, and another reminder, they are 13. You have miscues, they are 13, but you also have really good stuff that you have to then remind yourself they are 13. So you're getting a little bit of everything. 21 innings and 21 runs in an inning. You don't get that in most games, so is what it is. That's baseball, Stud.
Talk to me about the man who calls himself an infielder, then an outfielder, but also a pitcher. He's about to pitch. Gerolamick, how does he work on the mound?
He's got arm strength for sure. We saw it right away on that play down to third base from shortstop, and it's heavy. There's sink to it. He can spin the ball well, but obviously right now the East just needs strikes. We're going to get that low 80s. I think he's been up to 83, 84, but again, it's heavy, so should get some ground balls out of him. And we'll see what he does. Everything he does well. So I'm not going to be surprised if he goes out and has a quick inning.
Some of the pitchers getting an opportunity to jump their game into the batter's box. And one of them is Mr. Kramer. Number 73 on that jersey. Already has pitched in this game, Adam Kramer. It's for Todd Green D-backs, the TG D-backs, his travel team. And if you really follow baseball closely, it's the Todd Green who had a nice long career, started it with the Angels. Has been giving back as a baseball leader, Todd Green, for a long time. That pitch is inside.
And his teams are always competitive at every age group. You look up and they don't bring in a guy from tournament to tournament, same rosters, good carry, and they're well coached as an organization.
The 2-1 put on the ground, and it's rolled out to the right side. Alexander Bayo, who worked on the mound as a pitcher to start this game, hops over to second and makes that play at second base. A couple of changes that way defensively this inning. We also see Charlie Blaylock at short. One away.
Gotta like that is if you're Noah, they're getting a quick out, kind of setting the tone, but now you got to face Mateo Victorio, and that's not an easy task, though they are summer teammates, pitcher-catcher here, so maybe he's got some insight Mateo does on what Noah is as a pitcher. See the heaviness of that fastball at 83 from Noah. Spilling it back over the inner half. That's something if you're Victorio, you swing at, odds are you're going to hold some splinters in your hands after it, so wise to just lay off.
Victorio lashes that one into right center field. It's down for a base hit. That's a couple of hits and a couple of walks. If I'm doing the math correctly, that's a bunch of times he has been on. That's his second hit of the game, though.
He's finding the barrels. Let it off with a walk. Had that big double earlier. I mean, just look at the swing, the hands, how they work, and a lot of fluidity there.
With his West team up 15-12. I don't know. There could be some movement for that MVP award. Maybe suggesting a player who's reached safely 3 times.
With a couple RBIs and a couple knocks now.
Yeah, just saying. I mean,
if there's one thing we know that this score is not going to hold. So we got some time.
But here's the thing. As Evan Thompson hits, and I'll just be straight, we can hope that it holds at this point.
For sure. You got plenty of everything you need.
We have provisions for days and days. We are fine. You've given us more than enough runs. The pitchers, you can shine now. Evan Thompson doesn't like that idea. That's an aggressive swing as he fouls that one off. Evan singled back in the first inning.
he's just got some video game type numbers this year. Double-digit doubles, triples, and home runs. You look at him physically, obviously he's 13, but he's nowhere close to his physical maturation point. Like I said last night, when we make the calls letting kids know they made the festival, called Tim. He sent me the voicemail twice before picking up.
I love that.
So I talked to Mom previously, and she's like, hey, Evan, why don't you pick this one up?
Maybe he was just on Do Not Disturb.
No. It rang once or twice. It wasn't straight to voicemail.
Okay.
He definitely hit the reject button on me.
But if you're not a contact, as that one's into the dirt.
It's fair.
Victoria moves up. Stranger danger. I don't blame him for doing that.
I mean, I still do it at 33 years old because it's usually somebody trying to sell us something. So it's fair. Plenty fair. I don't fault him.
Thompson picked up the phone finally, and here he is hitting 2-2 the count.
Mom said afterwards he just sat there in a daze and was speechless.
Thompson picks on a breaking ball, lines it into right field. Nearly a leaping grab. Would have been beautiful by Bayo, but instead, it's a single for Evan. Says, hold on, don't be counting all those votes yet. I got a couple of hits as well. Good for him.
That was a really nice-looking swing there from Evan Thompson, too. Kind of like Mateo, where he's letting the hands do the work. You see it again here. Just the quick looseness of it all. And again, a lot of these guys haven't swung wood bats all year. They've been swinging drop fives at the 13U level. But based off, 18 hits and way too many runs to count, you wouldn't be able to tell that for them, some of these first-time swinging wood.
Andres Armenta swings the bat. Runners on first and third. That one misses. Danny Wexelman, what else do you have for us?
Yeah, I want you guys to pay attention to his stance in the box. When I talked to him earlier this week, he said the bat used to be flat. He had to change that. It's angled upright more, allows him to get on top of the ball, gets on top of that velo. We're seeing that more at this age now. And it also allows him to cover more of the plate. Off the field, guys, he told me he wants to create his own brand. By the way, his own clothing brand. And he wants to create graphic tees. I'd probably buy one of those. Would you guys buy one?
I would. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Danny. Of course I would. I love a good graphic tee.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Especially designed by a young man. Now, I may be told that you're far too old for that, Stud. Go ahead and give it to the younger people in your life. He's swinging it.
It'll give us some drip, though, Stud.
Into center field. That will play to run. Meantime, the play at third. A head first scamper. Holding on to the bag. And everybody is moved up a bit. A couple of outs in the inning, but another run on the board. Armenta with an RBI and a sac fly and a graphic tee.
He saw it.
Yeah, nice slide.
Recognized it was coming in. Went for the hook slide, and it's always fun when you're at Sanford, those morning days out on the dew on the turf, and kids have to slide about 10 feet in front of the bag and still slide past it.
McGraw Van Warmer gets the call, rips a breaking ball foul to the third base dugout. Jeremy's talking about Sanford, Florida, a great complex just outside of Orlando. One of the main stopping spots for perfect game events. One of the many nationwide, but that one's oft used.
That's a big one, especially for the 13U. The World Series is down there. That's a big event for us.
0-1 the count. How about 0-2 with a lively fastball over the outside corner?
He's still just sitting right there, 82, 83, with basically every fastball. And it's getting that heavy life to it. Some of these West hitters have been able to get the barrel underneath the ball to elevate it a bit.
Shoots that one toward the 5-hole and into left field for a 2-out RBI. Van Warmer gets it done. The Arizonan with a clutch hit, and it's +5 for the West.
I know you're liking all the Arizona guys here, doing everything. Another one, outer half pitch. That's a really good pitch from Geralamick, but everything seems to be finding the hole today. The question is, does West reach 20 runs?
Good question. I think so. Dylan Mercado with the chance to hit. We saw him pitch. Last inning pitched very well. High fly ball to center field. Mason Malone turns it into an out, but not before a couple of more score. West up 5.
Welcome back to the Dish, the 13U Select Festival right now. West is leading the East, bottom 6. I'm standing next to Dave Canton, and we shared your story a little bit earlier. First of all, I'm so glad you're okay. I'm so glad you're here. How are you feeling?
Feeling a lot better.
Your story is incredible. You spent 2 weeks in the ICU in recovery after you were hit earlier this year. What was that experience like for you?
It was very scary, like not knowing when I could play baseball again and like not doing anything to get better. But I realized that like you don't always have to be doing something physical to get better. Like there's stuff you can do mentally to get better at the game.
Your dad shared a little bit with us about how resilient you've been. You made it to the you were seriously injured, and here you are playing today. What did you learn from having to go through all of that?
I think it made me stronger, like realizing that injuries is part of the game, and you just got to recover from them, and it makes you stronger.
What's this experience been like for you being out here?
It's been awesome, so much fun.
Well, we're so glad you're here, and thanks for being a part of all of this. D?
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Danny. I mean, just a story of great fear, the parent in me, the parent in you, H. I'm sure you understand. Great fear when you think about it on his family's behalf. As that one is skied, very shallow center field. Good communication there. Love seeing that coming on in center field. Nathan Malone said that I've got it, and he does. But let alone playing any baseball at all now, being able to play at this All-American level.
Yep.
Just an inspirational story. And
if he said I was taking the rest of the year off, going to train, going to do whatever, going to recover and just be a kid, you wouldn't fault him. Yet here he is in the game after a productive spring and summer season. Truthfully, hit north of 400.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I mean, I could go even a little bit more, and I mean it as someone who played my entire life, whose father played, and it's been in my world my entire life, baseball, as Morrow hits one hard on the ground and into center field. Hold on now. Jason Morrow's 3 for 3.
Barrel machine right there.
Hold on. He's 3 for 3. He's got 3 RBIs. Just needs to have his team scrap a little bit, maybe grab the lead. I don't know, though. You have to be on a winning team. It's a pretty big day.
It's a lot of runs.
That's a pretty big day.
3 for 3 it definitely is something.
But just to finish the thought, I would not even fault an athlete if they said, I think I'm good, period.
Right. Absolutely.
I may just pass,
right.
You know?
But the love of the game is going to keep drawing you back in, I imagine. Marl's going to go at some point, right? It's kind of been the theme of the day so far.
Well, so it has, and we've seen a ton of stolen bases, more than a half dozen, but we've also seen some pretty catch and throw, so with your team down 5, you better make it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Here we go. It's an opportunity for a runner to take off, and he does take off. Throw down the tag. Got him. You better make it because there's some good things going on. Beautiful, beautiful throw from behind home plate.
I mean, that was an absolute
That's
strike.
Meyer.
That's Mateo. That was an absolute strike. Not on a great pitch either for him to have to handle, but... And, I mean, Morrow ran the fastest 60 at the 13U National at a 6.86, so to be able to get him by a full step or two, pretty impressive stuff there from Mateo.
3-1 the count on Carter Nash. Mateo Meyer with a great throw. Beautiful tag popped down by Reese Parker as Nash draws ball 4 and works his way on with a walk.
And now you see it could have been first and second if you made it or just taken that walk, waited a pitch or two. That's a huge out if you're Cameron Hockett to have Mateo Meyer throw Marl out, and instead of first and second, you just got first and runner on first, and not a whole lot of damage can happen here. At worst case, it's 2 runs if Pettinato goes yard.
Colton Pettinato. Oh for 2. Struck out, flied out to right field. Breaking ball just a little bit above the zone from Hockett.
Not a bad pitch. Thought it could have clipped the top of the zone. We're seeing Hockett kind of sitting right there at that 82 mile per hour range. Right-handed thrower, left-handed stick.
Cameron's from Spokane, Washington. Mount Spokane High School. Pickoff throw, but the runner was gone. Off to the races, and when I mean gone, I mean long gone. Carter Nash, forget about it. Couldn't even turn it into a caught stealing.
I don't know if that was a good jump or if Hockett kind of froze on the mound when they heard runner. No?
He was halfway, though, by the time that was thrown.
That was clean. Just a clean, straight swipe with the bag.
That's a massive steal. Huge, huge jump there.
Then you got Hockett. He's a 3-time Select Festival kid going for that elusive 4th one. This year's 14U, we got 5 of them. We've done the 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I think there's 6 of them in this game that have that potential to do a 4-peat next year. A lot of time from now to then, but seeing Hockett on the mound, saw him with the left-handed stick all day so far. Today, this weekend, and there's some real juice in there, and he's going to continue to unlock power.
Two and one the count.
He's another Washington kid for us, too. We have Cameron Hockett here. We have Mason Pike at the All-American game. Madden Pike next week. Braden Landry next week. Last year we had Max Hemingway at 14U. So
turned that one into an aloe stumble on the bag, but he holds on to it. Hockett, his big bro, certainly proud of him. Both of them great baseball players. Select Festival fun. Oh, good time had by all. This was snuck in by Perfect Game's amazing social team last night. Oh, yeah. Hopefully the dads were edited out of this one. That's a tough showing. There's a lot of dad. There we go. Perfect. No, we don't need to see dads dancing. This is our game recap. All sorts of runs. Lewis Lappy, very good. Jason Morrill saying, hold on. I've been really good, too. I've had a big day. And top of the third, 10 runs scored. Bottom of the third, 11 runs scored. Hit that QR code, by the way. Download the Perfect Game TV app if you're watching somewhere online. You want that on your 70-inch screen. The home to amateur baseball, not just live events, but 24/7 coverage of the sport at the amateur level, including this great game. How about Colton? He'll hop up on the mound and do some more. Colton Pettinato.
Yeah, we saw the arm behind the plate already, right? 5'10", 135, probably bigger than that. Needs to update his profile, but again, we talked about him. He can do a little bit of everything. He's been up to 84 already on the mound. The arm plays. He pitched in big games for SBA, one of the top teams in the country. So while he is a primary catcher, can play third, can play outfield, he's also going to do his thing out on the mound.
Colton from Charlotte, North Carolina. Catches, plays third, outfield, right-handed pitcher. Metrodina Christian Academy, where he plays. Colton does the pitcher for Darren Adams. Against another Colton Wyndham, who takes high, 1-0 the count. One-0 to Wyndham, good pitch, right on the hands, inner half, spins and fouls it back.
That was something he was looking to turn on for sure.
29 runs, 20 hits, 5 miscues, and a wonderful experience this weekend. Little roller gets by Pettinato, takes a right turn. Firing, not in time, unable to turn it into an out. Handley White has made the move out to second base. There's the hustle of Wyndham up the line. Had singled in a pair of runs earlier. Peyton Lopez now. Nice play on a backhand.
Got played at the plate now. PL8. That's a dad joke.
You're aging into them nicely, my friend. Welcome to the club. That one too firm. That one to the backstop.
82 on that one from Pettinato. So the arm strength's there. Already caught a couple innings. Had that long inning behind the plate. Arm's still live, though. Still fresh.
Terrell Hampton Hall having to grind behind the plate. Two balls and one strike to count with that pitch. Three and one to count, Peyton Lopez. Ashley, Stacy, his parents, Kirsten, and Caleb, his siblings. Talking about the hitter, Peyton Lopez. He takes a strike, good-looking pitch. 3-2 the count.
I talked to Lopez after his round of BP. I go, do you pull the ball? He goes, my coaches always preach it's easier to teach you to pull the ball than go the other way, so he lives the other way. And he does it with authority. And he's just one of the more refined and truthfully one of the more complete bats already at this age group.
Reese Parker of the Mississippi Parkers and the talented baseball athletic family, brothers, sisters, cousins, all of them, as we discussed earlier. 0-1 the count on Reese. Next weekend, the 14U Select Festival from Fort Myers, Florida. Jeremy and I, Danny, excited to bring it to you once again on Perfect Game TV, 11 o'clock Eastern. And if you've missed any of this game, you've hopped in live onto the home of amateur baseball. Come back and visit. The archive of this game will be available very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe and follow all of the great Perfect Game accounts on social media. Two and one the count.
I'm going to have to do some research for you on the draft picks and the bonuses and everything for 14.
For 14?
It's quite larger than this one. Fourth big leaguer got called up the other day with Dylan Cruz, too. So up to 4 official big leaguers now.
Gosh, time flies, cool. Age. Time really flies that Dylan Cruz was a 14U Select Festival athlete. That's crazy. I mean, he's all grown man, and he has been for a long time. But it's shocking that many years have gone by. Thought about offering it that one, did Parker, down and in.
I want to appeal.
Anthony Meyer working behind home plate.
We're looking for it. Hampton Hall's looking for it. That's a good catcher trying to help his pitcher out.
Three-two, the runners will take off, and it sails high. Ball 4. Perfect Game so busy, and we at Perfect Game TV are busy as well. These games, select festivals, then, of course, the underclass WWBA championship. We'll bring you that championship game. We'll bring you days and days of games from Jupiter. We're excited about that. And by the way, the freshmen coming on over and playing their championship game over as well. So excited to bring you all of those broadcasts. And we'll play baseball into November, too. Unable to make the play. A lot of grinding behind the plate. Just couldn't get there.
And then for those fall events, the calendar's flipped. So those freshmen are the ones we're going to be seeing next week at 14U. The calendar in terms of age flips, so those rising freshmen are now considered freshmen in our eyes. The 14U have moved on to 15U. Just like the 13 and 14U, the 13 will be the 12s of this past year. 13s will be the 14s will then be the 13s that we're seeing right now. So kind of restarts their clock and gives us our first look at them at those age groups.
Nathan Malone puts a charge on that baseball high and toward the wall. It bounds up against that wall. Wow, Malone crushed it. Oh, my goodness.
That ball absolutely jumped off the barrel. I think it had bounced above the yellow line and maybe a ground rule double. I thought it bounced up. And either way, he ends up 2 and scores 2. And there's the electricity of his hands. I mean, fastball out. Oh, no, breaking ball gets the barrel up under it. Thought for a second, I thought we had our back-to-back years of 13U home runs.
I thought we did, too. They did call it a ground rule double, send the runner back to third, but explosive power. My goodness.
To think he wasn't even on the national circuit last year, just playing local baseball back in Alabama. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, he just made a point saying, hold on now. I know you guys think you've already figured out your MVP. Maybe it's Victorio. I need to have a vote here. How about that double with a couple of RBIs? Don't forget, says Nathan Malone, I singled and scored and stole a base back in the third. We saw Cameron Hockett pitching just a minute ago. He walked and scored back in the third inning. Hockett hits it firm out to short. Scampering over is Freeze making the play. Turns it into an out.
Nice play there by Freeze, too.
And a run scores, by the way.
Took an extra step, looked Malone back to the bag, and probably saw him there drop his slot a little bit just to complete the play and flicked it on over.
20-12 is the score. They did get to 20.
They got there. Football Sunday. With a missed point. Missed kick, rather.
On his way to third, you bet he swiped it. Again, just more campaigning for that MVP award. That's become my new theme now. I'm focusing on who the MVP is at this point.
You're politicking for guys, too.
There's some fun choices.
I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of them.
Well, here's a man with 2 hits already.
Yep.
So, again, Lappy could be saying, hey, I've got a pair of hits. If I drive in another run here, you've got to consider me. And I'm one of one over the last year that have hit a walk-off home run in the Little League World Series.
That's right.
And I know it's only for today's game.
Adonato's still living there in the low 80s with the fastball.
2-2 the count. In and off the plate. That time to Lappy. It's funny, you heard about from the dugout, the Little League World Series champion. That's love and adulation from his teammates. It's just a unique tone where it doesn't sound like it.
There's got to be some sort of a nickname you could get with Williamsport involved in there, but...
And the steakhouse he's going to open?
Right, but I assume he probably wants to not leave that behind, but be known for what he's about to accomplish moving forward.
Runners on first and third. Brandon Manavong. Oh, and 1 the count on Brandon as that one hits the outside corner. So Brandon's saying, wait a minute, I played a really good defensive middle infield.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked twice. I've stolen a base. I've scored 2 runs. Just because they wouldn't pitch to me doesn't mean I can't be the MVP. I mean, if he hits a 3-run homer here, he's in the running, right?
I would think you could crown it to him if he puts one out.
Okay. Two and 1 the count on Brandon. Runners on second and third. That's Lappy grabs an extra bag there, stole it. 3 and 1. Manavong, high fly ball, right field. Myers makes the play. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Brandon. What a great day. Couple of runs scored, drove in a run as well.
That was a good throw there from Knox, too, showing off the arm strength again. Not trying to throw home, allowing the runner on second to go up to third. Another run, tacking it on. There's the 21 for the 3 touchdowns.
And yet we meet another athlete who may just put his hat in the ring and say, look, if I get an extra base hit here, I've already walked and scored. I've singled and scored and stolen a base. His name, Paris Head.
I think we're going to see him pitch the bottom half of this inning as well.
Is there room? Is there room? Up against that screen. Bell just ran out of space over there. Oh-2 breaking ball. Terrell Hampton Hall, like a goalie back there moving behind the plate. The 1-2. 2-2 the count. One last chance for the East team. I like to say it seems improbable, but after what we witnessed earlier in this game, we'd never say that it's improbable, nor is it impossible.
No, there's a high chance of a comeback here just based on what we've seen today.
I think we need one. I think there should be one.
Give the people what they want.
Pettinato taking a walk around, trying to get his team back in the dugout to swing it. Throw down to third in time and gunned down. Lappy trying to grab that extra bag. He made that third out at third base, and because of that, we move along to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The West team up 9. I warned those dads, stay away from the cameras. Dads, don't go anywhere near them.
You really think you're good, don't you? You're 1 years old. You're playing with a drop 5, USSSA, and you're not swinging this bat. You're not in the game. Look at this barrel. Look at the design. I mean, you hit a home run and you hit a home run and you bat flip it, and then you go and it's like, oh, he's using the tank. Like,
Listen.
okay.
You want to hit balls like this, kid? Get this bat.
I mean, if you're 13 years old and you're not swinging this bat, you're not in the game.
We got the.
One last opportunity to enjoy these athletes in Virginia. We have had no shortage of offense and runs, that's for sure. As we put a bow on this, the final half inning of the Perfect Game Select Festival, we clamor to find out who might be the most valuable player of this event. And it's one more versatile player getting a chance to show himself as Paris Head, who's a middle infielder by trade, the Chicagoan. You can see in 12 innings, when called upon at PG events, he had 21 strikeouts, so this ought to be fun.
No, there's definitely some juice in the arm. Been low, approaching that mid-80 mark. But when you see what he does in the middle infield, it's just that athleticism. He brings it to the mound, and arm talent, just let it take over.
I give them the opportunity, these young men, to list out their positions when they fill out a survey for us. And if you're curious, this great infielder who's so athletic lists pitcher second. Mm-hmm. He goes shortstop, pitcher, then second base, third base, outfield. So he likes it. He likes being on the mound.
Oh, for sure. And I think back at the 12U, he was on the National USA team and was one of the top arms there. So he's sprouted since then physically, and now he might just be too good defensively at shortstop to want to take him away from there. But the arm talent's definitely there for Paris Head, and we're about to see what he's all about on the mound. Got the cooler ready.
Yeah, the Yeti bath is ready.
Might be a little premature though. We had an 11 run inning already.
Oh, your team's up 9, and don't pack the bats yet.
The lead's not safe. First pitch there from Paris Head, 84. So
my college coach, QV Lowe, who won more than 1,000 games at the small college level, used to turn and see any of us packing up the bats in an inning like this, and we would hear from him, "Don't you be packing the bats. Don't you be moving that Yeti cooler in time. You're only up 9."
No lead is safe at 13U.
No, was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. There's that lively fastball getting a chase. High spin, 81.
You just see the looseness of his delivery, and that's that athleticism we already talked about with Paris. Arm speed's kind of a little whip there for him.
Way outside and off the plate. David Reed, Troy Williams, Jamar Clanton. Paris gives credit to those coaches for helping to guide him through that White Sox Ace program.
It's back-to-back years for us with
and that's strike 3.
Most definitely. Last year we had Parker Robinson at 14U, one of the Chicago Ace players, and this year we have Paris Head and Terrell Hampton Hall.
How about this, H?
I told you it's a live arm. And that fastball just carried at the top of the zone. That's hard to get on top of on plane width. And it was firm. Out of the hand, held true.
Tries to spin that breaking ball. Pops out of the fingertips to Braden Miller. Miller walked, reached on the fielder's choice. 2-0 the count. Paris said something interesting. He said, I've been fortunate enough to enter showcases 2 times a year. I plan to go to the national showcase every summer, including the PG main event showcase upcoming over Christmas break down in South Florida. And then his final sentence, I will work incredibly hard so that this is not my last Select Fest.
I love to hear that. And these guys have goals year to year, and bigger picture goals. Obviously, you want to make it to the big leagues. That's the ultimate goal. But you have to have little goals and little steps to get prior to getting there. And all these guys want to make it there next year. 17 new names this year from 12U to this year, and that number is 17 new guys, but how many thousands of kids are out there trying to go for one of those spots next year at 14U?
Paris walks him. Miller will take it. Jaden Freeze one more time. We've seen Jaden hit a couple of times, has a walk and a run scored. We saw him hop up on the mound and go to work. One and oh the count.
They're brewing down there in the west dugout.
2-0 the count to Freeze. Just looking for a small little crack in that door, and this East squad will bash right through it. We've seen it a couple of times.
That's how that inning in the third inning started.
Two balls and one strike the count. Son of Lakeisha and Marcus. Paris head with the 2-1. 2-2 the count. I was telling you the story about his aunt. His aunt played competitive basketball in college, played semi-professionally for a couple of years. It was when he was 4 that his auntie introduced him to basketball. He didn't like it. So then she introduced him to baseball. He loved it. Loses his hat as he fires that one to the plate. It's fouled back to the screen. He did say, I just got back into basketball last year. It's helped me with my athleticism. We were site champions, lost in the city championship game. We plan to win the city championship this year. On the hardwood, Paris head. Turns out Auntie was right.
Yeah, he's done very well for himself here. Definitely making a name for himself on the national circuit. That last fastball was 83, so he's maintaining here. A dozen plus pitches in.
Paris with the knee buckler. That's strike 3. Hammer time for Mr. Head.
That's an impressive breaking ball right there from Paris Head. Freeze probably looking fastball there after getting one the pitch prior, but man, that's probably one of the better breaking balls we've had today, Stud. True 12-6. Look at that thing.
Oh, doctor.
And Freeze knew it, too.
Well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Thank you, great pitch. You go back to the dugout. That's a good old-fashioned. Just read a great article on Fangraphs about the death of the curveball, how everyone's spinning sliders, and you have younger pitchers that aren't bringing that curveball to the table. I love seeing that pitch. It's hard to command, but boy, it can be effective.
Oh, yeah. Now you see that smile on Paris' face right now. It's his teammate and his buddy Terrell Hampton Hall against him, so.
He hits it hard out to short. On across the diamond. Nanavong, the defensive player of the year. He turns it into an out, and that'll do it. The West is best. They win the 13U Select Festival in a crazy one, 21-12.
What a game, and what a chase there at the end. Paris made it all the way out to left field before they finally got on top of him for the dog pile.
Well, that was fun. It got crazy a little bit with all the runs being scored, but there were flashes of brilliance, and I think that's why you gather these athletes together. They work out all through the week. They get a chance to know one another. The families bond too.
Yep.
And there were some special moments in this wild and woolly game.
Absolutely. The game, truthfully, for the weekend is just the cherry on top for everything these guys got to do. And like you said, that we saw flashes. We saw lots of flashes today, and the future of baseball is very bright, Seth.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll put a bow on this thing on campus at the University of Virginia, the 13U Select Festival. We had all sorts of fun and frivolity and suggestions for who could be the MVP, and there are a lot of candidates that are deserving. But when it was all said and done, Mateo Victorio, who ended up playing very well, by the way, when called upon behind the plate. He didn't want the Yeti bath, by the way. He didn't want that Yeti bath at all. He had a great game, though. He had a couple of hits, had a couple of RBIs, had a couple of runs scored. It was a great day for Mateo, and Mateo was standing by with Danny Wexelman. Guys, take it away.
Dee, thank you so much. Mateo on base a couple times today for your team. What was the key for you?
Me and Maya just hit hard line drives in the gaps and try to bring runs in for my team, and we won. So that's what matters.
You guys won big time, but what I noticed about you is that every time you watched a pitch come in that you took, you went and turned to your teammates to let them know what was going on. Why was that important to you?
It's my biggest thing is just be a team player. Let everybody know what's going on, because I know the guys on the other team because they're my teammates too.
And behind the plate, if you're a guy out at second, what you been working on when it comes to defense this year?
Be quick in my transitions and just throw low, hard throws to second base, and paid off.
You said you had teammates here. You know the West team wins today. What's this experience been like for you?
It's amazing. Having this opportunity to play here at UVA is a dream. Yeah. We might not be here next year for Select Fest, so the important thing is to just enjoy this moment and have fun.
All right, and also most importantly is you said maybe one day you're going to become a chef. So I need to know, what is the celebratory meal? What would you cook up for your team if you could?
A good Filipino dish is called pork sinigang, and that's my favorite dish by my grandma, Mama Sally.
Shout out to her. Well, congratulations, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Dee?
Yeah, that's the kind of interview we like. Family being mentioned, the heritage. I love that. And a great day. Hey, California, Sweet Sun City, very proud. Mateo Victorio. By the way, all you coaches of Stanford, Cal, UCLA, Texas A&M, he'd love to play for you someday. So when you can talk to him, there's the MVP of this 13U event. This was great, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we got to see a little bit of everything. We saw power arms, extra base hits to the gaps, plenty of stolen bags. Catchers did their thing, middle infielders did their thing. Lots of runs set, but lots of excitement as well.
We'll do it again next weekend. The 11 a.m. start for the 14U Select Festival. 14U, September 1st, 11 a.m. will be coming your way from Fort Myers, Florida. There are the important parts of it. Steve Banta is our leader. He's our director. Jason Cardona is our producer. Love working with Jeremy Brown. The scouting insights and the leadership. Danny Wexelman's irreplaceable down in the dugout. My name is Darren Sutton. We hope you enjoyed the 13U Select Festival. We'll see you again very soon.